And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.
Congratulations.
Boom. Right? Change soccer in America forever.
Hella bugs out here. Dude, bro, I can't keep caressing my leg, boy. Trying to get freaky out here.
We are step siblings and also husband and wife.
I can't do any of that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, soccer can crawl up my asshole and die for all I care. And that's what the kids do, but I'm a little older. I like that shirt tucked in.
Who the hell told you that would not be seen on television?
Anal sex is the process of inserting a penis into the anus of another partner.
Oh, shit. But my balls, bitch. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. We are back for another probably long night of talking and discussing all things.
30-minute show. 30-minute show, guys.
Like 30 minutes, best, maybe? No, we got, Jesus Christ. What are we doing here? I do want to respond to a few comments in the comment section. Who was it? I can't remember who it was now. He said, Derek, conversate is not a word. Yes, conversate is a word. It's informal, but it is a word. This is an informal show, and I'm allowed to use it instead of converse. Just saying. Just saying. And then, how old is Don't Bogart That Joint, my friend? The song that we get our shows basically take a hit from, because when we use it, and we're not going to use it anymore. That song was originally Fraternity of Man, 1969, on the Easy Rider movie soundtrack. So you know. So it's old. Like, that's 30
motherfucker
plus.
We're on the topic right now. I just noticed our last show is ineligible for monetization because of that stupid song.
Right. And so we wouldn't be able to use it unless it's over 74 years old. It's only 54 years old. So
we can still combat it and say, no, this is fair use because we only covered 7 seconds of a fucking song.
Right. Now, copyright laws in the past were around 50 years long, but Disney was freaking out that they would lose the copyright right to Mickey Mouse and all those other characters. And so they went to Congress and they paid a lot of congressmen off and senators off, and they got a bill passed that extended it from 50 to 74. I don't know. It was like 50 something to 74, 70 something years.
They lost Steamboat Willie.
But yeah, and they're going to lose it eventually. They just got a 20-year extension. That's it. I think you can use Mickey Mouse on anything now. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I don't know how old Mickey Mouse is.
I thought when it comes to copyright, I thought it was specific aspects of Mickey Mouse can be utilized. So like I said, Steamboat Willie came out, was like one of the first of the Mickey Mouse genres came out. And that's what you could utilize, that version of Mickey Mouse. Now, then there'd be like a Mickey Mouse that was kind of generated like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They always look a little bit different. So as they're coming into fruition, you can utilize those specific decade or whatever, those specific versions of Mickey. But you couldn't utilize the Mickey Mouse that was made for for Nickelodeon as of 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's super complicated.
I'm a lawyer,
but I do have to say it's pretty ridiculous. Can you imagine if Mozart's relatives, like his 5th, 6th, 7th generation, were still making money off of Mozart? I mean, that's how insane this is getting at this point. At some point, shit's old. It's so old that anybody should be able to play it or use it, or quote a book like Moby Dick and not, 2 paragraphs of Moby Dick and not feel afraid of being hit by a copyright. Also, I had a better name for this summer of soccer for the U.S. men's national team. I'm calling it the U.S. men's national teams, or the U.S. Soccer's sobering, somber summer of soccer. How's that for alliteration?
Nice.
I know. We'll get into.
You're back in the education field, and all of a sudden you're rolling out the alliteration craziness, man.
I'm just busting it out. I'm not even teaching English either. All right. Also, somebody asked me somebody said there's no such thing as a better cover song than the original, right? And I call bullshit on that.
That's funny because that's been going around on Twitter recently.
Yes. And so somebody pointed out to me and asked me specifically. And I said, yes, the first song that comes to my mind is Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann. And that was originally by Bruce Springsteen. And Bruce Springsteen's version is like meh, MEH. But the Blinded by the Light, we all know that was a massive hit for Manfred Mann back in the day. That was a special song. The way they restructured it completely, it doesn't sound anything like the original. Nothing. Absolutely zero like it. Much better song. Blinded by the Light. That's how we remember this song.
I didn't realize that's a cover song.
Yeah.
That's how in our mind it is at this point. Yeah.
And I can't remember which album. It's one of Bruce Springsteen's earlier albums. It's like 73, I believe, that came out. And then it was covered in 76, somewhere around there by Manfred Mann. And it was a major hit for Manfred Mann because they did something spectacular with it. Firecrackers shot out people's asses when they heard that song.
Are you a Nine Inch Nails fan?
Yeah. I mean, I liked one album and I like several songs off of that one album, but I do like Johnny Cash's cover.
Johnny Cash's Hurt. Yeah. I like both. I'm still a fan of the original, but I do like Johnny's take on it as well.
Me too.
Why am I spacing Nine Inch Nails lead singer?
Trent Reznor.
Yes, thank you.
Wow, what the hell's wrong with me this night?
You cleaned up, Derek. Your mind is fresh again.
It is.
Trent's come out and said that that song is now Johnny's song.
Yeah, no.
He's like, hey, that's he took it and he made it his own and it's his now.
Hey, people got some good ones here. Aretha Franklin, cover of Otis Redding's Respect. Joe Cocker's cover live at the Hippie Fest with a little help from my friends. Yeah, some good ones down there. All right. I have 3 walls, 3 words, my sweaty balls. Okay. All right, Wooxia, welcome.
Says, All Along the Watchtower. Is that a cover?
Yes, it's originally by Bob Dylan.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm a fucking dictionary of music over here. Whitney Houston took I'll Always Love You from Dolly. Yep. Of course.
Given how popular that song is, I can only imagine it's got to be better than the original.
Yep. Who are the guys that do dun 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 dun?
White Stripes?
White Stripes did a cover of Dolly Parton song too. That was pretty goddamn. Jolene. Yeah.
Courtney Love referred to Trent Reznor as a 4-inch
nail. Oh, I think she did actually. Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah is pretty good too. Pretty good. Thanks, Jack Pineda, for the White Stripes thing. Why I don't ever remember that band. I don't know why I don't remember that band name.
Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah. I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm spacing the one version I've got of it actually. That might be who originally sang that song, Hallelujah.
Cohen.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of people do good versions of it, but I always go back to the original on that one.
Yeah. The Cohen original in Hallelujah is really damn good too. So it's kind of hard. Like, I like Jeff Buckley too, but damn, the original's still really good. All right, we better move on.
Army is a Dolly Parton song?
No, it is not. Jolene. I was using the Seven Nation Army to remember the name of the band because I couldn't remember White Stripes for whatever reason. But they did cover Jolene live on David Letterman in, I believe it was 1998. And it blew me away. I was like, holy crap, that's fucking amazing. Wow, what a cover. 60% of Led Zeppelin songs are covers. Says Untouchables. Well, they didn't think so at the time. All right, for almost 200 of you in here already on Twitter and YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and give your stepsister a big fat kiss from me. All right, let's move on to whatever else we got, Brett.
Last thing I'm going to say about the covers and everything. I do enjoy Disturbed's Hello Darkness.
Yeah, I've listened to that. It's not bad.
Listen to it live is so much better than listening to the recorded version. Well, like have you watched the version that he's on Conan?
I've just heard the recording. I think.
Yeah,
it's a little over emotive for me, but it's good. You know, it's like the solid, this like kind of thud metal cover you could do, I think. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of that genre.
I don't know. He hits all the different levels of singing for him.
If you guys
that
like
low pitch goes up into a higher octave, and then he does his growl.
Hello,
my
old friend.
Hello.
Yep. No, I mean it's good. It's not bad. I mean, I'm just not into that type of music, that really extra clean metal sound. I like my metal to be a little dirtier and a little darker. I mean, it's a dark song to start with, so that helped me get through the song's cover. But anyhow, all right, good. That was a good topic. I didn't even plan to talk about that.
Lefty wants to know if there are even metal guitars in that cover. There is not. I think the only guitar is an acoustic guitar, but it's all orchestra and piano.
Maybe it was his singing that reminded me of thud metal. It's a little thud metal-ish singing.
Wait, so now what is thud metal? I have when it comes to talking about metal, there are so many fucking genres.
I know.
I'm at a loss of who's what. You know, you're offended because I said that they were this. You know.
Yeah. All right. Just call it like how do you? I don't know. I can't come up with another definition to describe it, but it's like mainstream metal or whatever, you know. But but anyhow, it's not bad. I'm not criticizing it. It's just not my thing. That's all.
Are you putting Slipknot in that group too, though?
Yes. Yeah, I would.
Interesting.
I do love the original Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel.
What's not to like about that? That's a great song.
It's a freaking great song.
I got it on my phone right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, my name tonight is Steve Zissou, Derek Steve Zissou. Yep.
The Aquatic Life.
The Aquatic Life tonight. I need to get a red hat.
You do.
And that'll work better, I think, for the Steve Zissou.
Now that you got the new job and everything, are you going to grow your beard out more? I mean, I see a little bit there.
No, it's just there. That's it.
Oh, then it's pixelating on your side. It looks like you have a little bit of side there.
No, nothing on the side.
No 5 o'clock, no none?
No, shaved. Well, it's 5 o'clock because I shaved at 8 a.m. All right. And I can grow a beard in 2 days. So there you go. By the way, tonight I am drinking Taxman's. That's the wrong side. Maybe that is the right side. Anyhow, it's their Imperial Golden Ale. And damn, something is going right at Taxman. They have really fixed not only their quad, which is much more fizzy and maltier than it used to ever be. They've fixed all their golden ales. Like, they're doing them right. This one, they basically on the back, there's a description of what they did. They pounded the shit out of this with Belgian malts, just Belgian malts, and they overdid it. And it's fantastic. So if you can find Taxman anywhere you live, I highly recommend it because it's an affordable. I'm not worried about affordable.
Well, doesn't matter. It is affordable. It's like a $6 6-pack, and it's some good shit.
Speaking
of Taxman, Frank's asking if Tact has bitched out again.
So Tact wrote me yesterday and said he's got the flu and he strained a left testicle. So he was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it tomorrow.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, and he pulled out. I was going to say that's like a good pull out.
It's overkill anyhow. I've been on his show 3 times in the last month. He's been on the show a week ago or so. And then we had Pete on the week before that. It's like a little too much inbreeding going on anyhow. So a break was needed, I think. And he needs a break, you know?
Yes. So Derek went down to he's in Orlando, right? Yeah, he went down to Orlando and got sick.
No, I did not.
Bro, we need a break.
I did not.
Smallpox.
I didn't strain his left testicle either. That's all on him and his girlfriend. That's all their fault. All right, for the over 200, go ahead. I was going to say.
Nope. You do your
just a reminder to the plus 200 of you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma. All right, let's do it.
I was going to say, speaking of spraining a testicle, man. Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, this was crazy when I saw this.
I mean, was she grown in a lab or something like that? Is this weird science shit?
It's like a piece of art, not a person.
I mean, I'm legit. Yeah,
a piece of art. She's a person.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
just
just saying. The list that couples have. They like, oh, if I ever meet X, Y, or Z, I get a free pass type of thing.
yeah.
Fuck the celebrities. Go for the Chinese archers or whatever.
I don't know if she's from Taiwan or
That's a good point. I guess I really don't know.
Hong Kong, or because I can't read that shit on her shirt. But what the hell? What?
And when she smiles, watch it. Here she goes. She looks. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Where's it? There it is.
She smiles, and then she hits near the bullseye, pretty damn close. It's a 10-pointer.
Still a 10-pointer. Yeah. There you go. People are saying Korean.
South Korea. Holy Christ. How is such a perfect person made? I mean, just watch her after this. It's like some artist put her together because she looks like something created in AI.
Right there. That's AI, right?
God, it's just unbelievable.
That's not a real person. That's not a real person, man.
You can't possibly be that beautiful. There's just no way.
Untouchable says she'll kill you in her sleep. And you know what? I'll enjoy it.
She'll kill you from 75 yards out with your back turned. That's what she'll do with a fucking bow and arrow.
Damn, that's legit, man. Look at that. Again, love it when she smiles. The best part, quite frankly. She doesn't have a little smirk coming up here. Right there.
Yeah.
She walked away.
I don't know how good she was because I didn't get to see it, but I'm sure if she's as good as she is beautiful, holy crumb-a-knees, she must be like one of the best archers in the world. So anyhow, that was a shocker for me. I was like, is this real? Is this real? Or was this created in AI? Because this person is perfect. This is like the most perfect, beautiful person I've ever seen. And I would say that, by the way, about men. I've seen men that I thought, come on. Nobody's that good looking. Give me a fucking break. So this goes both ways. I'm just not just judging women on how good their looks are. I do it with the men too, not because I care, but I know good looking when I see it on either side. All right, here we go. Mm-hmm. Not that I swing.
Real quick. Alex Vetter says South Korea is a plastic surgery capital of the world. So does Jack Pineda says, unfortunately, people in Korea get plastic surgery as an 18th birthday gift. I mean,
she doesn't look touched by it.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, I don't buy it. I'm not buying that. She looks like that because she popped out of the womb and she's just that beautiful. Period.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, I don't doubt, Jack, that people do get plastics. People get plastic surgery in the United States and they make themselves look like ogres. Ogres. That's what they do. They blow up their lips. They tuck in their cheeks and they start looking like freaks. That's what we do here.
Maybe that's a cultural thing because maybe in Korea they only get enough to accentuate certain features. Whereas here's like, I want DSL lips, and then they go. Bloop, 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 bloop. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. But what we're doing here is bad. That's all I can say. All you women out there, not watching this show. Stop doing it to yourselves.
Just go natural, man. Age gracefully. Come on.
Just age gracefully. You can get a little things done, but don't blow up your lips and tuck in your cheeks, and then you look like some freak. Like some freak on a stick. All right. We'll move on.
Jack Pineda says she isn't really my type, but she is very pretty. As long as you can acknowledge it, that's all really matters. I mean, yeah, I understand people have types and they have their own preferences. But yeah, there's she's very symmetrical, very perfect.
I mean, listen.
I was looking at when I saw the pictures, like, holy shit.
I didn't watch that video and get it go doing or anything like that. I was just amazed by her beauty. That's it. Simple as that. A man can't just be impressed by beauty. Doesn't have to always be sexual. All right.
Brian DeMarco says, do we really think there are any women here?
No, there aren't.
We're not. Nobody's going to get offended by us talking about this, right?
I mean, there's like one every 50 shows.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of the Olympics and speaking of, people who typically have very, very, fit physiques. I mean, I imagine most people in the Olympics have fit physiques by all means. But something that's not very flattering to take photographs of is synchronized swimming.
Oh, yeah.
Now, watching that underwater cam and seeing how they're doing all that stuff underwater and stuff, that's cool to watch and all. But you take a photo of something, you're just like, wow, that's not flattering at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw this and I thought, wow.
I mean, I know she's gasping for air because she's been underwater for the last 10 minutes, but she kind of has that whole that stereotypical sex doll look on her.
And I just thought that's a seriously thin strip there.
Well, and I brought this to your attention. I mean, kind of before the show and all, but the suit is wider than it appears.
Yeah. So you were telling me at the show that it's actually.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta open this up in a new tab. I mean, I hope we don't get dinged for this by any means, but yeah, you can see.
Okay. Yeah.
Suit goes along the side like a normal bathing suit would, but yeah, you definitely
yeah,
stuff,
because as you were saying, otherwise her lips would be popping out.
Here goes Pink Taco says, "Wow, much better than Hope Solo's beef curtains."
So it's it's a deceiving photo, folks.
Yeah,
it is a camel toe.
It's meant for them, yeah.
But yeah, not. I didn't see that originally.
There are no lips flapping in the breeze. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would not be good because that's not much there covering that area at all.
And Brian DeMarco says, "Christ, she can probably taste it."
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know.
Chris Fairburn says, "I can see her ovaries."
All right. Okay. Again, these jokes just going wang, wang right over my head. All right.
All right. We've had enough fun. It's been 22 minutes. Let's talk about some soccer.
Let's talk about soccer.
Derek, I think every other show or something, promotion relegation gets brought up.
Okay. Yes, it
and
does.
It's usually you who squashes it. It's never going to happen.
It's not that I don't want.
All the owners are going to squash it because why would they invest it? Never going to happen, guys.
It's not that I don't want it. I just don't believe it can happen. That's all.
Well, and then here's Derek right here talking about how we need promotion relegation.
I was replying to Ted, and this is like 2012. We were going back in time. Ted and I used to do this in 2012. Okay. He's very nice to me. He's mean to others. He's nice to me because we've known each other for a long time.
I've got no problem with it either,
yeah. I said to him in a reply, still would like to see PNR someday in the U.S. The forces needed to overthrow, that need to be overthrown to make it happen are massive. Like King Henry V winning multiple Agincourts in succession, which if you don't know the Battle of Agincourt, that's when England was massively outnumbered by the French and still kicked the French ass.
That was the Henry V movie, the King.
Yes,
the movie that's based off, basically, right? Where it rained the night before, and then they're like, "Hey, bring," they'll come down. They'll be slipping and sliding all over that mud.
Right, and it worked. That movie is a pretty good depiction. There really isn't a movie that depicts it absolutely correctly, but it was close enough. And
does that kid portray Henry V well? I mean,
I don't know.
He's kind of a scrawny little guy. I mean, I imagine wielding, a 50-pound sword and wearing armor, you're going to be kind of a little more built.
I don't know. I know there are paintings of Henry V. He seems at that age to be quite thin. I don't know his body build. I don't know. I just know battles, right? I'm a battle nerd. But then Ted, this is a great reply by Ted. He said, "I'll be your huckleberry." I like that reply. And then I had to reply to that, by the way, and say, maybe with a longbow?
Kumar had it too. He goes, and longbows.
Yes, because don't think you're wielding any pistols. In my metaphor here. Yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Tombstone's a phenomenal flick.
And great by what's-his-face playing the
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Val Kilmer. Yeah, great role.
Playing Doc Holliday. Yeah. Freaking phenomenal.
Great role. Anyhow, hey, peace, Ted. I hope the world's going. You've been doing this for almost what? He's been doing it for, let's see, 20. He's
been fighting a losing battle, but man, at some point, maybe, and then he'll be like the Godfather at that point.
He is the Godfather already, right? But yeah,
once it comes, yeah, it'll be accepted,
I mean, he's a Godfather right now of saying the same shit over and over again that ain't happening. And I've made my proposals about how it could work that are more realistic. I think, and that was the MLS1, MLS2 thing. And he didn't really like that much at the time back in 2012 or whatever, but he was, not shitting on it or anything. He's like, yeah, I can see that maybe. But, I don't know where Ted is right now. Ted, I mean, I got to give you credit. You've been at this for probably 15 years now, and you just don't relent. So, tip of the hat and good luck to you.
It's gone.
What?
Jeff Carey says, an Olympic hurdler. If Umar followed up with, I'll drink her bathwater.
I don't know her.
You don't know her? She just broke her record, man. She crazy broke it.
Sydney McLaughlin?
Sounds like she should be singing a song to make sure pets are okay.
Is she American?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd she do?
Well, she won the 400 in hurdles or whatever. But she broke her record, she smashed it or something like that.
Oh, okay. I probably saw it, but usually when I'm watching the highlights late at night of the Olympics before I go to bed, I'm not really 100% paying attention. So
exactly. That's what I would expect her to be singing, with that name.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, 400 meter in hurdles. Yes, that's what it was.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, there you go. And that's the big thing about her. She has the 6 fastest times in history. She keeps beating herself. Notice I didn't say off, though.
That'd be weirder if she were a dude. Yes.
Oh no.
Or unless she's a hermaphrodite and we don't know about it. But anyhow, for the over 260 of you that were here right now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma, and give your stepsister a sloppy kiss. All right. Lefty Coyotes, the dogs are so sad.
In the heart of an angel.
Oh,
I can't watch that video. Those videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those commercials. Yeah.
So we found Untouchables. Kink man.
She can hurdle D's.
What?
Okay. All right. Let's move on to a real actual topic.
Okay. We'll move on to one of our favorite topics in the world.
Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting ogled on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news but me. Whatever.
I just noticed the term ogled in there. I never really paid attention, I guess, that closely.
It's ogled.
Ogled, not ogled. You're right.
No, not ogled. I mean, it might be pronounced ogled in England. I have no clue.
We call them gnawbone here, okay?
I mean, I don't know. We say herbs, they say herbs.
Oh, before we actually get into this, I want to cover a couple super chats real quick. Johnny for $2 says, when I think about Viking CBs, I touch myself.
When I think of Viking CBs, I touch myself. Oh, there's a song called "I Touch Myself." Can't remember her name. I think she died.
Good Lord, Derek.
Divinals. The Divinals.
The song sings it, or this chick sings it. She's probably dead though.
The Divinals chick. I don't remember her name, but that was the Divinal songs. When I think of you, I touch myself. Oh,
okay, yes, I know the song. Yes, now
80s, late 80s. Yep. Thanks, Johnny / Larry. Hope the kid's good. Jose Reyes for $5.
Jose Reyes.
This beer has not gotten to me that quickly. I'm just slobbering here. Jose Reyes says for $5. Hey, friends, finishing move this weekend. Where are you moving to? Thanks for giving me some relief during this stressful time. I know moving sucks. I did it.
You lost half your shit at the house, though, man.
No, I mean, I did it my whole life because I'm an Army brat. I think I moved 8 times as a kid. Hey, friends. Oh, sorry. Let's hope for Pochettino he finishes. Yes. Let's hope. We'll get to that topic soon. Yeah. I mean, it'd be refreshing. It'd be good. I'm not sure how much of a disciplinarian he is, but we'll get into that later. 269, by the way.
Hey,
69.
Nice.
Tack were here, he would say nice for sure.
Since he was supposed to be here, I'll go ahead and say the words.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, so he took Tessman's spot. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I don't think they're going to sign Tessman, Fiorentina. I think they got them. They watched the game between Morocco and the United States U23s, and they're like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Why are we trying to get Tessman? One of the best players on the field was Amir Richardson, and we can get him for $10 million. And guess what? His agent isn't a bitch, so we'll be able to actually sign him and not have to hand over all these big buckets of cash.
You know who his agent is?
I have no clue.
It's Corey Gibbs. I found this out on Conrad's show today.
Corey Gibbs, no shit.
No shit, yeah.
Mr. Injury center back. All right.
Hey, bro, come on, man.
Yep.
Throw Tessman a bone.
Well, I mean, Tessman just argued himself out of that signing because he can play a 6 and an 8, and that's exactly what Tessman is. So why are you going to sign another one unless you're really hurting at that 6 and 8 position at Fiorentina, and you're going to spend another $8 million for Tessman or 6 or whatever.
How much of this is Tessman and how much of this is Corey?
You know, I've heard two stories, so it's hard for me to say.
Sure.
But I did hear the agents fucked up the first deal with Milan. Inter Milan, yes.
Thank goodness. But yeah, okay.
And then also I've heard the other story that Tessman wanted some sort of guarantee he would get a chance to play. Sure. So I've heard both of those stories. I'm not sure which one to believe. But because he's not expensive as far as Inter goes, and not that expensive really for Fiorentina.
I'm fine with him talking himself out of the Inter move. I didn't think that was going to be a good move regardless. Yeah. He would have been loaned out, and then disappeared. That's what would have happened. I think he stood a chance to playing with Fiorentina. I think if that was a talking point, I think they could have said, hey, yeah, we're bringing you in. We're going to try you out. We like you for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, but that wasn't the problem with Fiorentina. That was the problem with Milan.
Sure. I'm glad he talked himself out of that deal.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I don't think
I would rather him continue to play with Venezia than go to Inter at this point.
Yeah, everybody's saying Tessman should convert, or Jack is at least, to a center back. That was Tack's original idea. It's not a poor idea.
No, it's not. We saw with Jeff Cameron.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically the exact same move that Jeff did, except for I don't think Tessman ever played up top, like striker-wise.
Yeah, well, that was Jeff really early.
Yeah. College and etc. Yeah. No, but
he was immediately moved to the midfield when he got to MLS and then back to center back. So
dude, you're like 6'4" and slow. You got to be in the midfield. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a striker. Come on. E. Bailey says, hey, Derek, I'm 20 minutes behind, but in case you see this, congratulations on the new job. Thank you, E. Bailey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's something I want to do. It's kind of how I want to go out in life, just as a teacher. That's where I started, and that's where I'm going to end. It's kind of a weird bookends.
That's
right?
kind of funny because I'm kind of being a teacher right now, too. I have decided to become Jackson's coach.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking that the club's Rec Plus program has taken a lot of the more skilled, talented players off the pitch because I'm looking at this going, it's gonna be a tough season.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of new kids to the sport, like literally first timers, which is fine. So my brother's helping me coach and everything like that. We've coached a number of academy teams and travel. And our big thing, really, especially at this age, because who the fuck cares about results at the U10 level, is the development over the course of the season.
Yeah, and having fun,
Yeah. So we're out there. We're the big thing is we're teaching them the basics. So we're doing simple dribble drills, shooting drills, passing drills, simple ones, because they all need it.
Yep.
Even Jackson needs it.
Yeah,
but they all need it. And then on top of that, we are working on containment. And that's our big thing we're going to work on the entire fucking season.
Yeah, I mean, by that age, you're hoping they could at least know what a in position is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just tornado ball out there.
Yeah.
Because that's what when I taught when I was the coach of Nick's U6, is it's like, no, we're going to play positions, and then it's just like, no, we're not. Nobody's listening. It's a scrum. This might as well be a unadulterated freaking rugby match. That's what that was.
I've got. Here's the interesting aspect is obviously I've got a lot of new kids on my team, and I'm actually picking up a new kid now because I know the U10 coordinator, and she's like, "Hey, we got a new person come in. Do you mind if he joins your team?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." Whatever, the more the merrier, you know.
Yeah.
But we're actually our practice is on Tuesday, and we're actually holding an optional practice on Friday now, and we're incorporating a bunch of the other U10 teams that if they're wanting to come out and play more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they all could use some extra practice, and the parents are happy about it. They're like, "Hey, another hour out of the house? Yeah, get them out of here.
Yeah, get those rugrats out of here."
I got to do some shopping. I go to the grocery store, you know.
Yep, Jeff Spicy Carey says for $4.99, or is it Spicy Jeff Carey?
Jeff Carey.
Yeah,
Spicy Jeff Carey.
Sydney McLaughlin and Gabby Thomas are hot, smart, and extremely fast women. In the old days, you wouldn't really want to call people fast women.
Well, it's all context, Eric. Don't
It
take
is
out of context. We're talking about a running sport, so you want to be called fast.
I know what he means.
If you're talking about, some extracurricular activities off the track and field. Yeah.
All right, for all 315 of you who were here a second ago, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your grandma. And we're moving on to the next topic, which is... Two Bundesliga side, Hamburger SV, was in discussions with Westerlo over potential transfer for Brian Reynolds this summer. However, the two clubs failed to agree on a fee, which is really weird, but okay. A pair of unnamed English championship clubs and one German club has open talks with Westerlo over a potential deal for Griffin. Yeah, which I see to be more realistic. Anderlecht remain interested in him. Anderlecht would definitely be good because that's one of the better teams in Belgium. It's not a massive jump up. Could he compete in the championship? I think he could. He's shown moments and flashes of really good play. And if he could pull that together and become really consistent with it, I mean, I give Yao a chance. I give Yao a chance. All we are saying is give Yao a chance. All right.
So Derek, looking at that picture of Yao, what do you think he's saying?
Yippee!
You think he's saying yippee?
Yeah, more like yowzers.
I'm thinking more like whoa.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
I think he's practicing some karate.
Yeah, I don't think that Brian Reynolds is going anywhere, by the way.
He's right out of his contract at Westerlo and then move on the free.
He's been nowhere near even one of the better backs. He had a decent season, but he had a decent season for Westerlo as a whole. He was getting playing. I'm not saying he's phenomenal. I'm just saying we are
talking about two Bundesliga team in the was it a championship team or was it just Bundesliga team?
Two Bundesliga.
That's all it was. It's Hamburg. Yeah.
I mean, he would fight there. He'd have to fight there. Yeah, he would. I'm sorry, but if you're Reynolds and you're playing in Belgium, you just need to be doing better than decent. You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm not busting his balls. I just think that's what most of us expected when he went there, that he'd be a standout in that league. And he just really hasn't been, not even against some of the weaker opponents. So we'll see what happens. Yao had good moments at Westerlo, but it wasn't consistently good. That's the other problem with Yao. Consistency. It's like a couple good games, a game where he's not really involved much, then a couple good games, then another game where is he? So he'll need to grow up a little, mature, and string together more good games in a row. And I think that'll be good. An ad, awesome. An ad, no ads today.
I've got the I monetized the show. I didn't think they were going to do mid show ad roles for the show, so I'm gonna have to change how I do this now. I don't want a mid show ad rule.
That's weird.
While it's live, that makes no fucking sense at all.
We've never had. I didn't know we ever had.
Sorry, Matt. That's not going to happen in the future. I will put monetization on after the fucking live stream is over.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever put monetization on before a show.
I've done it for the last 2 shows. I had no idea that there was going to be a mid show ad. It's.
I didn't know how that worked. I thought the ads would be after the show was completed and went on YouTube.
Yes, that's what I would thought. That's what I thought too. But learn something new every day.
We just learned something new. Yeah, sorry guys if you caught an ad there. Our bad.
What's the point of enjoying a live show if you're going to have commercial breaks? That's the whole point of doing YouTube instead of being on TV, right?
And you miss a whole 30 seconds of it. You might miss something, the best part of the show.
That's
right?
a great fucking point. Does it just catch you back up to live at that point, or does it go back to where you
Matt's saying he's late. It started.
Sure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, in my opinion.
It wasn't meaty. It wasn't mid show. Probably at the very beginning. Then they did that.
I'm still saying I'm gonna adjust that. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. All right, next. Please, can we get Gaga out of this shithole?
It's not going to happen, guys. Unfortunately, he is in Chelsea's clutches for the next 4 seasons.
He joined the Chelsea loan army. He knew what he was getting into.
5 years of transfers.
Everybody that joins the Chelsea loan army, including Wiley.
Including Penders. Penders is going to be in that bulk as well.
Penders as well. They're going to become part of this massive block of players that Chelsea has that they send out every season on loan and that will never, ever see the light of day on a pitch for Chelsea. That's just, I don't know why they do it. I think maybe it's like a splatter gun approach where they're like, let's just shoot shit against the wall and maybe one of these motherfuckers will stick.
Yeah.
And then the 1 or 2 out of the 20 that we signed that stick, maybe we'll go get them and sign them. But otherwise, they're just going to be splattered against the wall season after season until their contracts are over. That's how that works. Ask Matt Miazga.
So USMNT National Burner says, hey, let's get Gaga out of the situation. And I said, hey, you know what? Penders is being loaned back to Genk anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the rumor that we covered this a couple weeks back when they were talking about the interest in that Chelsea's going after him, and Chelsea fans like, oh, cool, and we're like, oh my god, here's a guy that's going to be competing with Gaga. I'm like, no, he's going to be just Gaga, but out of a different team at this point.
Nobody in the Premier League has a loan army as big as Chelsea. They just splatter
as big no. You're right.
I mean, they splatter money everywhere, like it's like they got, no off button at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even know if Kaka's going to Strasbourg. We don't know.
That was the rumor. He's definitely not going to be at Chelsea, so he's going to get loaned out one way or another.
Yes.
And when the rumor came out for Strasbourg, that made sense because they were not enjoying the replacement from when Sells left.
Yeah,
Forrest.
Right, exactly.
So they're like, oh, this would be perfect. This would be a great spot. He'll go there and they'll try him out because they don't like the guy that they currently have.
I mean, it's a big step up, though. That's for sure.
You mean from Oipen? Really?
Yes, it is. So, and we know Wiley's already going.
League.
Wiley's already going to Strasbourg, so at least he'd have a friend there. So
there we go.
I don't know. We'll see. But listen, when you sign with Chelsea, you just know if you're Caleb Wiley or you're Slonina or you're Matt Miazga or you're a part of a loan army. That's what you're going to join. In my language, Gaga means girl who doesn't wear underwear. Huh.
Now we know.
Is that
it's definitely not Polish.
Is that Spanish, Pink Taco? Just asking.
Well, I mean, it's stereotyping pink taco by asking if it's Spanish.
No, that's based on the word gaga. What I would think
is Filipino.
Filipino. Wow. No, I wouldn't have guessed that. No, would not have.
A gaga means a Spanish pink taco.
Yeah, maybe the pink taco has nothing to do with Mexico. There we go.
There we go, guys. Now we know.
Yep. All right.
Mark says cancel Derek.
Nah.
He's saying the racist things all over again.
No. I'm just guessing. It's called guessing. You're allowed to guess. His name's...
Jokes, Derek. Come on.
I mean, his name.
Nobody's calling you racist.
His name is Pink Taco. I mean, what Filipino names himself Pink Taco? I don't get it.
Somebody who likes the pussy, okay?
All right. I mean, I didn't really string those together, but I should.
You didn't string pink taco and pussy at all?
I didn't. I mean, call me naive. I just did not put those two together. I mean, I've heard that called the taco before. I don't know I've ever heard it called a pink taco, but that certainly makes sense to me now. All right, one hell of a ride. I miss the days of players spending the bulk of their career at one club, says Brett.
Yep.
9 years. You miss it so much that you sit around crying about it. You break down emotionally.
Off the show always, guys. Off the show.
Yeah.
I hold it together for these 3 hours that we're together. But when we're off the show, and as somebody had mentioned in my comments section about the Tyler Adams topic, and he says, "Cry more, buddy." I'm just like,
oh, I replied to that guy.
I'm like, dude, I've cried twice in my life. One from getting hit in the man marbles, and the other at the end of Old Yeller.
Did you see what I called him?
Yeah, you called him an unoriginal queef, if I recall correctly.
Exactly, because that's what he is. That whole stop crying thing is so fucking lame.
Stop crying, bro.
Stop crying, bro. Nobody's crying, you fucking moron.
I'm calling out hypocrisy. I'm not sitting here crying, because I don't know what part of that was crying. Come on. I don't know. We'll cover that, guys. Don't worry.
What an unoriginal piece of shit. That's all I gotta say. Like, if that's your comeback as a person, like on Twitter, you're just the most unoriginal piece of shit you could possibly think of. When I call people names online, I do not say, "Stop crying, bro." You know, I call them something shit they never heard of. And then they're kind of laugh and they reply and go, "Dude, I've never recalled anything like that before." Yeah, I know. You know, so I think that's what you got to do. Mm-hmm. If you're going to tell a person, "Go suck a cock." No, man. Tell them, "Go suck a bag of dicks." That's way bigger than one cock. You know, a bag of dicks. That's what you need to do. You need to be creative about what you're saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. We have people in the chat that are bringing up terms instead of pink taco that you might know, Derek, since you weren't aware of what pink taco was.
Oh, no.
How about a mermaid's coin purse?
I've never heard that either.
Oh, okay. The whispering eye.
Nope, never heard that one.
That's a reference from Role Models, the movie, The Whispering Eye.
I don't know what's so whispering about it, but all
BMR wants you to get your head in the gutter. Come on, Derek.
It usually is. I'm the one that does all the porn jokes here. All right.
Hope Solo looks like a smashed Arby's sandwich.
Oh, come on. No, not with the Hope Solo stuff.
Guys, you keep coming up with stuff like that. We're never going to get Hope on our show.
I mean, if people have seen that, they will know what I'm talking about.
How about the axe wound? B flips.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Cancel. Stop. Nope. No more. All right. We're moving on. This show is going to be absolutely.
We're doing soccer topics, guys. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. This show's absolutely limited. It's absolutely little. So limited.
So Timmy is off the clit, right? That's where he's off to, right?
Off the what?
The clit. Charlotte.
Oh, we're not stopping on this.
North of the pink taco, right?
Tim Ream is off the clit. Yes, and by the way, folks, that is what's on the MLS when they put it up on the scoreboard. CLT. Clit. I don't know. I mean, they could have found some other way to do that, but I guess not. Like SCHT, but then you'd say shit.
Yeah,
chit.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shit
Like,
versus shy, right?
is that better than clit? I mean, listen, everybody loves the clit, but
CHA Shaw?
cha, yeah, that would work.
Shaw.
Such a weird.
So he's off to the clip, and it's official. He's out of Fulham, and they'd given him a nice little promotion, a 4-minute highlight reel of
We're not
Tim
watching
Ream.
it.
No, we're not watching. No, but I mean, hey, 9 years, 312 appearances, 3 promotions. That's a great tenure in Europe. Yes. And like I said, I miss the days when players would spend the bulk of their careers at one team.
Yeah. Hey, Simon Allen, by the way, we love you, but you need to write an apology letter to Tim Ream.
Yeah. He's still standing on that soapbox, so no, it won't matter.
Is he?
Yeah, he still talks about Timmy.
Yeah, let's get his ass back on the show so I can hammer that.
I'd like to get. I'll extend the invite to Simon. I'd like to get him back out here.
It'd be fun.
Plus, I don't think 90% of our listeners have ever watched the show where we had Simon on last.
Yeah. By the way, Simon Allen,
the 45 segments that he was on. Simon
Allen was a big podcaster back in the early days in the 2010s, 2012s.
Yeah.
And
right there with us.
What was the name of the show?
Dalai Lama of Soccer.
No, the name of the show. That was his name.
Oh.
Worldwide
Soccer Podcast?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, believe it's been over 10 years. It's hard for us to remember, but he's a good guy. He's a really great guy, and actually created.
I like Simon. He's a good guy. Yeah.
He took our original theme for our logo and made it beautiful. Let's just put it that way.
Made him look like Hitler. Or the H word, sorry.
No! Now the show is totally limited.
Totally.
You used H-man's word.
Worldwide Soccer Show.
Okay,
Worldwide 2005. Soccer. 2005 is when he started that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's older than us.
Yeah, he's older than we are, yeah.
Yep. Good guy. All right, well, let's move on to a next topic. Next topic
of players on the move.
Players on the move.
Recognize the date first off. August 1st.
For fuck's sake.
Gio Reyna has no future at Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, that's why he just started the last game, because he's got no future.
And I understand that Dortmund game, they played a lot of bench and fringe players early, and they brought in more seasoned towards the end of the game. But they also substituted Reyna out, and they brought in Cole Palmer. So it wasn't like for like in the sense of bench and non-bench.
Who would they bring in?
Cole Palmer, right? That's his name. The American 19-year-old that is at Dortmund.
No, that is Cole Campbell.
Not Palmer. No.
Cole
Campbell. Thank you. Yes.
I'm like Cole.
I'm mixing up with the Coles apparently. Yeah.
Cole Palmer moved. He got traded from.
You
Chelsea
didn't know, Derek? Oh my goodness.
To BVB. Oh my God! What
my bad,
news?
Guys, my bad.
All right, Cole Campbell. Yeah,
everybody's correcting me. I know. I understand, guys. My bad.
So Cole Campbell, it was nice to see because he's been moved up to the big boy team. He skipped the 2 team from the U. He went from the U19s, skipped the 2 team, went to the big boy team, and they just lost Fulkrug, so maybe he'll see some cup minute games. And
he's not a replacement for him at all.
No.
Did you get to watch the game at all?
Yeah, I ended up being able to watch it on YouTube, believe it or not.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
No, I watched it on Paramount Live.
It was illegal. I'm sure it was illegal on YouTube. I'm sure it's down by now. But
yeah. Campbell's very dynamic. So he reminds me very much of our wing options at a standard 4-3-3. He's a Pulisic. He's a Weah. He's that type of a quote unquote striker, if you will.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from the 70 minutes or so that he played, 60, 70, whatever it was. He came in the 77th minute, and he played through 120.
About 20 minutes.
30 or so, 30,
just
40?
Over 20 minutes.
That was more than 20.
If he came in the 70-something, it's under 20 minutes.
But they played 4 30-minute quarters. So they played 120 minutes total.
What the fuck are they doing?
It's a friendly. Who cares?
Okay. That seems very weird, but all right.
Yeah. So
obviously, I didn't watch the whole game.
So Cole looks dynamic and he looks promising. I mean, I'm stoked to see what he's going to produce.
Yeah. Well,
Gio played the first 77 minutes, and he didn't do anything wrong. But the bulk of the time, Dortmund played it wide and bypassed the center of the pitch.
He didn't seem to get to touch the ball much from the 50-something minutes I watched.
But that's the thing, though. When he did touch the ball, it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He even had an opportunity on goal. He created some small opportunities, nothing that amounts.
Oh, right off the bat, he created an opportunity right off the bat, beginning of the game.
But it's, for whatever reason, Dortmund almost played Berhalter-esque in the sense that they played it out wide, out, and across. Mm-hmm. They avoided the middle of the pitch like the plague, and I don't understand why they did that because that's counterintuitive to what they used to play like.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I don't know.
It is. I mean, again, he didn't do anything bad. He just didn't get the ball that often.
It's friendly, so we'll see how things evolve with the new manager. And I've said this 1,000 times, just to be really clear, that report from Sky Sports that is spread all over the place that he has no future at Dortmund is total horseshit. Total crap. It's garbage. Oh, it is not true. Not true at all. So just so you know.
Yeah. So,
and I've also explained it on here 1,000 times. So I'm not going to explain it again why it's garbage. Go read some German newspapers is all I would say. Like this moron who wrote this story that he's got no future hasn't followed the reports coming out about the board and why they were pissed at Terzic because he doesn't play the young players and all the young players are losing their value, etc. This is my summary, okay? I'm not going into details. That's why Terzic lost his job. That's the only reason he's lost his job, because they're a selling team. Dortmund's a selling team, and he was reducing the value on their biggest players. Moukoko, Adeyemi, Reina, all players, all of their values dropped significantly, including one other player that I can't remember right now, in just the last season, because Terzic didn't play any of them. So their values all dropped. And Reina's dropped the most. It went from 40-something million all the way down to 18. So
18.
I don't get why Derek wants Gio to stay. You want to watch him rot. No, I don't know what's going to happen with the new manager. I don't want him to rot. And if this season turns out to be a big, piss puddle, yeah, he'll have to leave mid-season, obviously. And I'll support that if, in fact, it is a piss puddle and turns into a golden shower. And I don't want it to be, but it could end up being that way if he doesn't put the work in and bust his balls. We're going to hold Reina accountable from here on out. And I feel like all of us have given him leeway because of his talent, because of his high ceiling and his potential. But at this point, fuck it. I'm sick of this shit. Win your spot, earn your spot. I don't want to hear any more complaints at this point. You're not 18 years old anymore. You got a grown man, you got hair on your balls. Berhalter gave you your 21st birthday cake and you blew the candles out. Maybe you had a couple beers already. You're getting married. You got whatever. You're engaged. Listen, it's time to play like a grown man and take responsibility. I don't want to hear any more bitching from Gio Reyna. Just get your ass in gear and make it happen.
Frank says Gio's not going to play over Brandt. They're both 10s. It depends on how the new manager plays, what formation they play. Yep. Because with Terzic, to an extent, and especially prior to Terzic, when he played out wide as one of the top three, it wasn't the same way that we expected. We saw from with Berhalter. In that sense, he had more opportunities to get into that middle of the pitch.
Yep.
And it was a different role as a whole, because that's a big talking point. Like, well, when we'd bitch like, why is Gio being played out wide? He's isolated to that corner, and the counters were always like, well, that's what he plays for at Dortmund. Like, they don't play the same role at Dortmund. That's the problem.
Right.
So,
right.
It really depends. It really depends. I agree. He probably won't play over Brandt because Brandt's more of a workhorse than Gio is, quite frankly, overall. But I think.
Well, he's just right now. He's a more mature.
Yeah.
He's got a higher soccer IQ than Reina does in some ways, and he's just a better player. No, do I think Brandt is going to be like his spot's going to be taken over by Reina? No, I just don't see it happening.
I don't think so. No.
But they did lose Royce. They're losing a lot of players right now. They're selling off, and so we'll see if there's a youth revolution at Dortmund. I expect there will be because that's what the board is demanding the new coach to do. Will that mean they have a poor season? How much poorer can it get than they had last season under Terzic in the Bundesliga? Yes, okay, the Champions League run, fine. But the Bundesliga season was a complete fucking disaster.
They're fortunate that they expanded the Champions League rules.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been, they would have been fit. They would have been in Europa at that point.
Yeah.
But they expanded it. Of course, now they're like, oh, we got them in Champions League now. Like, well, yeah, it wouldn't have happened prior to the expansion, though. So
Brian DeMarco says Gio needs a move, man. Just cut the cord. Here's the thing. And I've explained this. I'm going to do it one more last fucking time on this show. Last time. During last season, the board leaked a bunch of shit to Build and Kicker and a bunch of other magazines saying they were extremely upset with the fact that 4 particular young players weren't getting played by Terzic, including Reina, and that their values were dropping like a rock. They were losing money by the game. And their plan was to bring a young coach in and play the young players this season, including Reina, to rebuild their value. Now, is that going to be for better or worse? And will the new coach be able to do what they're asking him to do or not? They fully brought him on board and fired Terzic for that reason. They brought him in to be Terzic's assistant last season just to get him ready for firing Terzic. Mm-hmm. Like, they already had that. That was already the plan. Terzic, his job was done way earlier in the season than he knew about. And so that's the plan, to rebuild the worth of, like, listen, if they sell Reina right now, they're not going to give him any more than $12 million. At best. That's at best. And that is down from his $40 million transfer market value at his highest point when Holland was there. And he and Holland were kicking ass before his injuries. So essentially, you're looking at losing $22 million. And if you're the board of Dortmund, that's unacceptable. So if you can build Reina's value at least up to like 18 or somewhere halfway like 20, do it. And that's what they want to do with Anayemi, with that's the goal. All the young players, the four ones we mentioned on the last show, all their values need to be recuperated so they can go back to be the selling team they used to be. That's the goal. Will they achieve it? I don't know. Is that a positive as far as playing time might go for Reina this season? It seems like it. Will it be? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see.
Untouchable says, if he rides Pine all year again, what will his value be?
He won't ride Pine for a year. If he rides Pine for the first half of the season, then during the next window, he's gone. He'll be gone. They will sell him.
Yeah.
They'll sell him. They're going to have to just say, it just didn't work out. They'll sell him for $8 million, $6 million, or whatever they can get out of it and just get out of it. That would be completely tragic. Is it possible? I mean, yeah. I mean, lots of things are possible right now because so far, since his glory days at the 40 million market value, Reina's had a really rough go of it. And things are not going great. And it can't possibly all be just because everybody around him are fucking idiots. There's got to be something else going on there.
I'll come back to Eldon's comment here in a sec. But Brian DeMarco says, do you hold Tesla stock because it was $400 a share a year ago? Not if you need the money. I don't know if Dortmund necessarily needs the money because they don't make a shit ton of transfers in. I mean, as far as money wise is concerned.
No, they do need the money.
I'm just saying. I think they can hold off on a half a year to a year to make a sale.
When you're selling an old crusty Fulkrug to West Ham, that is not a normal sale by Dortmund. They don't sell old crusty players off.
They don't have old crusty players, period.
They sell young players like Pulisic to Chelsea.
Sure.
That's what they are known for, not older, crustier players like Fulkrug, who, good for West Ham. But that's how desperate they are right now for money. Like, it's not that they were in a money bind, but there used to be awash with money, Dortmund. And they're used to bringing guys like Adeyemi and Moukoko and selling them for double what they bought them. That's just not happening.
I think that's the point of the move with Fulkrug, is that you're getting rid of the old and crusty so that you can play the young and ambitious.
Right.
So
that's why they sold Royce.
I know.
Royce.
That's kind of the point in that sense. So you can't say like, well, this is a weird transfer, because it's weird because they generally don't have those players. So, yeah. So I think that they can hold off on a Gio sale for a season, half a season or a season, in hopes that he rebuilds stock by performing well in the bit minutes or starting minutes they may get throughout the season.
So you got guys at the Dortmund board basically doing this. Oh, please rebuild their market value. Please rebuild their market value. Yes, that's what's going on at the Dortmund board, because essentially, if you add up the 4 players we talked about last week and you put all the money together, I think you said they lost over $100 million or something like that in one season in market value of players.
Yeah, we went over that in the previous show or two ago. Yeah,
it was close to almost $100 million in market value they lost between Reina, Adeyemi,
right here. This is what it was.
And one more player that I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. You get the point. Young players they signed.
Mullen?
Nope, not Mullen. Mullen's not young.
Young, yeah, she's what, like 20. 28?
Starts with an N. Starts with an N in Cheka, in Mecca, in blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, can't remember his name. Anyhow, he was also highly touted youngster. Eldon Hasek. Hello, Eldon. It's good to see you again. $5. Terzic was smart to leave. There'll be a mess and fire Sahin before season is over. He already pisses about signings. Then Terzic returns. Oh, well, I don't think they're going back to Terzic, honestly. I really don't.
I'd be shocked if he returns. Then the rest of it can be perfectly fine and acceptable, but I'd be surprised if he returns.
Mcheka, thank you. Yes, that's the player. That's the other. That's the 4th player that lost his market value during the break. Terzic.
Not going to work here anymore.
Listen, anything can happen this season.
And who? Come on, bro.
I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just doing this, my best.
Derek did stay at a Holiday Inn Express, though. So
I'm just doing my best. Well, here's the thing I'm doing, Brett.
Yeah.
I'm telling people out there, and I'm being as loud as I can about it, that in Sky Sports report. And by the way, 50% of what comes out of Sky Sports is total garbage. Absolute garbage. They're there to get clicks. That whole Reina has no future at Dortmund thing was the biggest pile of crap that ever came out. Ever. So, like, the dude did not go back like a year and do some research on the reports coming from the board and what their concerns were about Terzic and the young players. Like, this is not a secret. Yeah. It's been in the German papers Fucking learn to read German, motherfucker. That's what I would say.
Just watch our show. We cover it every week.
Learn a little German, read the German reports, and don't be an ignoramus and say bullshit like that. And then, we won't have to call you out on the show. And I wish I knew the guy's name because I can't remember it now. But what a pile of shit report that was. Rena's got no future with Dortmund. Oh, well, that's funny. He just started. That's really weird. He just started in the last game in the friendly and played 70-something minutes, 77 minutes, something like that. Yeah, so no future.
Were you telling all 336 people watching us right now that Sky Sports sucks?
Yes. No, I said that was not what I said, but I said that reporter sucks.
Huh.
And that half the shit that comes out of his reports suck. And I wish I could remember his name so I could let people know that when they read his reports, they should go, yeah, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt because that guy sucks. And he's wrong 50% of the time. Like, if you're a reporter and you got real sources and you're putting up bullshit like that and with a big headline, yeah, people keep receipts and they should keep receipts. And what I basically put out there was keep the receipts on this dickhead because this guy's full of shit. He doesn't know dick squat about what he's talking about. All right. For the 340 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother, and lightly graze your stepsister's clitoris. All right. Where are we next?
I love the fact that I lobbed that softball for you to hit out of the park, and you went on a rant saying how, no, you weren't talking about how sucky Sky Sports is. And then you immediately jump back to the point I was trying to lob you up for. To say, hey, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Derek, are you telling all 336 people listening to us right now that Sky Sports sucks? No, that's not what I'm saying, Brad. I'm like,
transitions, baby. That's good and sexy.
I did my best. I did my best there,
By the way, like it on Twitter too, or X. You can do that. I think you can give it a thumbs up or whatever.
You can like it on X and share it and retweet. Say, hey, quote tweet and say, hey, these guys are spitting legit shit.
Hey, listen, we have been, and when we've been wrong, which has been like twice in 3 years, we've admitted it and we've come out and corrected our mistakes. Twice in 3 years is not bad. And by the way, we were been very cautious about our leakers. I won't leak shit I don't believe. I just won't do it.
Of the 2 times, too, we've been vindicated on one of them. So I don't know if we're actually wrong on that one.
Okay, one time then. Yep.
I think long term, we were right.
Right. Yep. And we said some crazy shit on the show that all turned out to be true. All of it. We were the first to break the John Brooks story. We're the first. Anyhow, I'm not.
Matt Miazga kicking Berhalter's dog.
No, don't.
It's good. It's good.
It's a joke. That was a joke.
Guys.
Those are not. That's not fair, Brett.
Fair enough. We had covered this last show, or the show. It had been last show, where we talked about the Zimmerman's comment after the Morocco game. Where basically he says some people have come into the U.S. men's national team camps entitled and thinking that they just deserve a starting role.
Wow,
paraphrasing, of course.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah. So I wanted to cover this before we jump into the Tyler Adams segment because there's a nice little correlation between the two.
Yep.
Plus, okay. I want to hear Charlie Davies go on a rant again. That's always fun.
Okay.
Well, I think while emotions were raw, Walker Zimmerman said this after the 4-0 loss to Morocco. He said, I think to some degree, we've gotten away from what it's like playing for the U.S. and feel like just because we're whoever you are, that you can just get called in. That stuff pisses me off. I think guys need to, every time they put on the jersey, I don't care how talented you are, you want to play with pride, and I think we have the characters to do it.
Wow.
But we don't always do it.
Yeah, well, okay. And that was not directed at the Olympic team. Let's be really clear, which is weird because he just was asked that after the Olympic loss. Why
are you bringing us up after the Olympic loss is the big thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. Clearly that was directed at the big boy team. that a lot of the guys that are playing on the big ass teams, which shrinks that down to like Weah, McKinney, Adams in the Premier League, Pulisic. Let's see who else plays on a big team. Anthony Robinson plays in the Premier League. Dest doesn't. I mean, PSV is a pretty big Dutch team. I mean, who else could he be talking about here? So that's the big problem with this. It just casts aspersions or indecencies across the whole team because you don't know who he's talking about now. Who are the guys that just are so entitled? Like, we're never going to know because he's not going to name them. Somebody else said, well, they just name them. He's not going to name them. He might 30 years from now in a book or 20 years.
30 years. I think this is his last opportunity for a cycle in general.
Well, if he writes
I don't think
a
he's
book,
going to say anything now, but after 2026, maybe names will come out.
If he writes a book 10, 20 years from now, nobody will care. But
when we were doing sprints, we're doing 6 and 18-yard sprints. Gio was jogging.
Yeah, and then you got to wonder what is his vision of what hard work is and what entitlement is. Like, I don't know, because yeah, we weren't there, so I don't know who he's talking about. I would doubt he's talking about Adams.
I don't think he's talking about Adams. I don't think he's talking about Pulisic. I think it's pretty safe to assume that he's talking about Gio. And who else would be in question as far as feeling entitled?
Dest.
You think
that would be my guess. Yeah,
I mean, it's possible he didn't play for like a year and a half. But in fairness, who was going to take over that right back spot?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he didn't play for club for like a year and a half, but when he came to play for the U.S. national team, he was always there, and he always played.
I'm just trying to think of guys who played like wilted pansies. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think on a regular basis on the pitch who that was.
I don't think it's McKinney. McKinney's I think pretty much favored across the entire locker room.
It could be McKinney.
I mean, he definitely hasn't been performing, and he's chunked up a bit. But
we don't know. We don't know because we're not Zimmerman.
I guess maybe his jovial side in the locker room rubs Zimmerman the wrong way. I don't know.
I think he's definitely talking about Reyna. I don't think there's any doubt because all the reports coming out of the World Cup were that he and Yedlin were the guys that were, kicking him in the nutsack about being a lazy bum. So that's not just one report. That's like multiple sources telling us that. Like Berhalter sicked those guys on him to get on his ball sack. So, all right.
Yep. So that leads us right into what Tyler's saying now. We'll watch the video and then we'll jump into it.
And Tyler's taking a beating for this.
It's fair. Fair, from the flip-floppiness. We'll talk about that though.
What do you think this team needs to set up the United States for success?
For myself and the young team and kind of where we're at, I think.
First off, you're not that young.
Not anymore. Sorry.
You guys have become mid-range World Cup age range,
Yeah.
You're no longer the young bucks you were in 2022.
No, I'm sorry. 2 more years have passed.
Yep. And by 2026, you'll be mid-age. We're no longer young, so don't use that as a crutch and an excuse. We're young, we're dumb, we're full of insert word here.
Come. Wasn't that a porn series? Anyhow, go ahead. Sorry.
I think we need someone that's almost a little bit ruthless, coming in and putting everyone in their place and understanding that, listen, this is what needs to be done and this is the...
Rewind that. He just said a little bit ruthless.
Young team and kind of where we're at, I think we need someone that's almost a little bit ruthless.
A little itsy ruthless. A little bit ruthless. I think he meant to say just ruthless. I think he was trying to be nice to Greg there.
Yeah.
By saying, Greg wasn't ruthless enough, so we just need a little itsy bit more ruthlessness. Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, just a little bit ruthless.
Well, and again, that whole buddy vibe that came with the Berhalter era. Like, oh, we're all besties.
Kumbaya, my lord.
Were you really?
Kumbaya.
I don't think things that we've heard. I mean, not me personally, because I don't have context with our sources by means. But I think from what you've heard,
yep,
is there's kind of not a division, but there's a separation of like two different camps within the camp.
Yep.
So
it's unfortunate, but there are cliques in the camp, and it was allowed to happen by Greg. Greg allowed the cliques, and then he separated the team even further by creating the leadership council, which is a horrible thing because, of course, the leadership council has way more power over the rest of the players. That's just a horrible thing because then the leadership council get together and go, yeah, I don't like Joe Scally. He's kind of a cock. He's kind of a dickhead. I don't like John Brooks. He's negative. He's a real negative bitch. I think we shouldn't call him up again. I don't like that guy. Like, okay, thanks for your opinion, and we'll make our decisions based, of course. We'll take your opinions very seriously. That can never happen again. I don't want to ever see a leadership council ever again. The players are always going to, and this goes for the big break when Greg was not rehired, and we were wondering who's going to be hired as the new coach, and all these, like the Pulisics came out, and we're just giving them a big reach around in an hour-long video for some guy who is Irish that his dad really likes, that picked him specifically to do the interview for, what is it, ESPN? I don't even remember.
I think it was ESPN, yeah.
That was the disgusting interview because that guy soliloquied for like hours on end, and then Pulisic would say two sentences, and then he'd soliloquy again.
In a court of law, I believe they call that leading the witness.
I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous, dude. First of all, Pulisic needs to tell his dad to go fuck off and quit being his manager, all right, his close advisor. Now, I know that's hard to do, but I can guarantee you when I go to work every day, I don't call my dad and I don't consult, and I haven't done this ever. Like when my first job, I didn't call my dad and say, Dad, I'm going to work. Who should I hire? Who should I talk to? How should I talk to them? No, I didn't do that shit. And that needs to stop. His dad apparently picked that guy. That's ridiculous that that's the case. And we've, by the way, through sources, know how dominant Pulisic's dad in his life is and how influential he is. Man, I would tell my dad to go fuck off, dude. This is my life. I'm going to run it my way at this point. I'm a grown man with fucking hair on my balls. Get off my dick.
Play for San Diego. Chambers says Gio has to do the same for Claudio. 100%.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of my professional life, not my life, just professional life.
Yep, got to get you out of my life.
I will talk to you and ask for some advice, but I do not need you running my career.
You're my dad.
100%.
You're my dad. Be my dad and get the fuck out of my business. All right? Be my dad and get the fuck out of my business. Grow the fuck up. Both of them need to.
Mm-hmm.
And tell daddy-os to go fuck off. And you need to start making decisions with you and your agent. What porn to watch? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's a little gross. I don't talk to my dad about porn at all.
Is watching porn interesting? As one who's from the Midwest, no, it's not. Porn itself is not interesting.
By the way, there's this gal from Delaware County that works at my high school that brought in 3 big bags of fucking corn from her farm for all the staff to take home today.
That happens. A lot of tomatoes come through our school and stuff like that because that's the easy plant to grow.
And I was thinking,
you take all 3 bags?
I just took 1 corn because
you're new. I get it.
All I got to do is feed me.
It'd be like when PTO comes in, they throw out a bunch of snacks. It's like throughout the day, I may make 4 trips over to the staff lounge for various reasons.
Yeah.
And I always walk away with a couple of snacks and then put them right in my drawer for later.
right up your drawer, huh?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Just stuff in your pants.
Hey-o.
All right. So where was I on that?
We're gonna play and we're gonna listen to him talk about corn. Apparently,
okay.
Coming in and putting everyone in their place and understanding that, listen, this is what needs to be done. And
putting everyone in their place. Does that include leaving Tyler at Bournemouth for a tournament?
Yes, I think.
Is he acknowledging that? Because he was livid whenever Berhalter took him out of the game. Do you think an actual coach would be like, dude, you missed like an entire season? Maybe you continue to rest it off.
I mean, and supposedly that was already worked out, and Tyler knew that. And yet, when he came off the pitch, he's about to punch Berhalter in the nutsack. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like he's not doing that to Pochettino. I will tell you that straight up.
No, but I mean, I guess that'd be my thing. Is he really considering himself in this equation when he talks about putting the players in their place? I mean, because he's one of those players that we put in their place. He came back from the tournament injured and has to go into surgery again.
He's projecting, isn't he? Because he's
unintentionally too.
Yeah, unless he really has looked internally, which I don't really know if I believe, and said, I need to be put in my place too. Whatever that is. I mean, I think what he's just generally saying is we need a big, swift kick in the ass. Right?
All right, I've got to pull this up here. There's the second one to it, okay? So
Tyler is out injured, gash, so we don't have to worry about that.
So instead of gash, it's supposed to be again. But that's funny. That's funny. Tyler's gash is apparently injured, guys.
But you know what? Tyler could have spoke for himself a little more rather than project onto the team itself. Sure. I mean, I don't mind him saying this team needs more discipline.
Yeah.
But he could have I know people were asking for an apology from him. No, he didn't need to apologize. What he could have said very simply, Brett, is listen, I've thought about this since Copa. I've really had some free time to sit down and really contemplate this. And what I think, I've evolved in my thinking. And what I really think we need, if we move forward now, is a coach who's going to really come out and really take control of this team and be kind of the master of our destiny. And I don't think we need a leadership council anymore. And I don't he didn't have to apologize. He just could have explained it better.
Just come out and say, hey, things towards the end here have gotten too loosey-goosey.
No, because that's
we need to tighten that shit up.
No, because that's a condemnation of Greg, and nothing I said was. So I think
I'm just saying that's not an apology, but that's flat out stating the facts. Is that the things have gotten too loosey-goosey,
but he's not going to
say to tighten up.
He's not going to say that.
Well, he basically said that without saying it.
That's what I'm saying. But he took a leap that was so giant and without explaining the evolution of it. And I was providing the evolution, right? I was providing you. Yeah. I sat down after Copa and I really thought about it. And I think this team needs somebody who's going to come out and really, have a plan where he is the master of our destiny, or she, I don't care. And that he's,
no longer canceling Derek. Way to go, Derek.
We are exactly. And that we're going to have to follow his plan and his vision, and he's going to hold us accountable. That's all he needs to say.
Doesn't saying, hey, we need somebody a little more ruthless, basically state that Berhalter was pussifying up the team?
But he basically threw Berhalter into the bus and called him a floppy little cunt. Yeah, that's what he said. And
the players were running the team, not you, Greggy. Not you, Greggy.
We need a disciplinarian. We need somebody come and be ruthless and kick us in the assholes, what he said. And that wasn't Greg. Greg wasn't kicking him in the asshole. And so that's what he said. We need an asshole kicker. And Greg's not an asshole kicker. So we'll see what happens. But I don't listen. There's this big debate like he should apologize. He's not going to be but he could have done it better.
Well,
he sure could. He sure could have done that interview better.
Yeah.
Because now it makes him look like Mr. Flippy Floppy.
Yeah, I mean, as I point out here, Berhalter getting rehired Hey, he's the right man for the job. Spying with drones, everyone's doing it. New coach inbound, we need somebody ruthless who's gotten it done before. I mean, I just don't know if I can take anything he says seriously anymore.
Yeah, it's hard.
Of course, people have come out and questioned, why are we taking players' opinions seriously anyways? Because they can't say anything while they're playing.
Bullshit. Okay, we've talked about it before. Pepe's been critical. Scally's been critical of Greg. Ream, during the whole process of the rehiring of Greg, when he wasn't rehired yet, they asked Ream, what about Greg? How do you feel about Greg? And who do you want to be the manager? He said, that's just not my decision. I could give two fucks. Well, Cannon doesn't count. He doesn't play. He has no chance of playing.
Fair, but he was in contention, and then after World Cup, he kind of laid into Greg.
That's okay, but he can't even start for QPR.
Fair enough.
So, and then if you go down the list, the biggest ass kissers of Greg were Weah and Christian Pulisic. Lesser extent, Tyler Adams. When McKennie was asked about who the coach was going to be, whoever the new coach was going to be, when Greg hadn't been rehired yet, he said, it doesn't matter. We're so tight. These guys are so tight. It doesn't matter who the next coach is going to be. We're going to be great. He was wrong because coaches do matter. So he's wrong that it doesn't matter what the new coach is going to be. If we go down the list, a lot of people were anonymous. Johnny Cardoso said nothing. Luca De La Torre said nothing. So you can assume by them not saying nothing that either they weren't asked or they don't care.
Well, yeah. I think there's two ways that players can handle it. They can either mind the satchel or they can do a non-answer. So minding the satchel would be like, oh, Berhalter's the right man for the job. He's the best option. And then non-answer is like, he's the manager and we're going to play our best.
Yeah, the non-answer is the best answer, and all of them should have said that, including Pulisic and Weah and Adams. Should have said, like, don't go as far as McKennie and say it doesn't matter who the manager is, because that's horseshit.
Like, hey, JT and Betty will make the decision. We'll play for whomever they pick.
That because it does matter. You don't have to go far as Scally and say playing for Greg's like a mind fuck because we have to play like robots.
Same thing Eric Williams said, basically.
Same thing Pepe said, too. Pepe said, yeah, fucking thank God Greg's gone because I like playing for this Hudson guy and this BJ guy way better. So this whole idea that the whole team wanted him back is absolutely incorrect. It was the leadership council, guys, mostly, that wanted him back. And the biggest one and the biggest most influential one was Christian Pulisic. And listen, is Christian Pulisic our best player by far and away right now? Yes. So we need him. So I'm not going to shit all over him. But he was the biggest Greg pussy pusher of all the pussy pushers. And so just keep that in mind. And the fact that he had any say with Betty Crocker before they hired Jesse Marsh, which, you know, it was all said and done. Jesse Marsh was going to be the coach. And then he had a few phone calls, and then he's like, okay, well, then we'll just bring Greg back if you guys feel that way. But it's not like the whole team loved Greg. It's not true. I have had multiple sources that know the players tell me that's not true. Greg was not that well loved. I mean, he was loved by the guys that Greg loved. Greg loved Pulisic, and Pulisic's the biggest player on the team. So he had a say, apparently. And that's unfortunate. From here on out, no more players get a say, because players are always going to dip to the common denominator of, I want the coach who loves me. Regardless of
my position.
Right. Regardless how tactically special that guy is, he loves me. Like, that's why you don't ask players, hey guys, what coach, who do you want to be the coach? No. Who does that shit? Who counsels? Who gets counsel from the players' leadership council? So stupid. And so that'll be the first thing that is gone forever. Unless they hire Southgate and he'll make his own new leadership council because that's where Greg got the idea for the leadership council in the first place, from that English turd named Southgate. And if any people out here want to fucking Southgate to be your manager, you got to be crazy. You got to be shit in your pants or have shit in your brains. Either one of the two, because that guy is the biggest pansy, non-holding player accountable. And one thing Tyler's right about, we need a swift kick in the ass. And get a guy, a freaking pansy, a little flower like Southgate. He ain't kicking anybody's in the ass. He might grab your balls and snuggle them gently and give you a nice massage, but he ain't kicking you in the ass. Just ask any of the players on England. All right.
So BMR asks, I still don't get why you had to go over the Zimmerman comments again, Brett. LOL. The reason BMR, I build a story. I have a starting point and we go into other things. So Zimmerman talked about how certain players are entitled. They feel they deserve X, Y, and Z, regardless of what happens or how they're playing at their club level. And then all of a sudden, Tyler comes out and says, hey, we need somebody ruthless who can put the players in their spots. Say, hey, you're not performing at Dortmund. I'm using Gio as an example because I believe that's who Zimmerman was talking about.
Yep.
You're not performing at Dortmund. You're not coming to the national team this window. Right. Do better. I believe that's what both players are kind of hinting at. Maybe not necessarily calling Gio out or any other players, but saying, hey, players on the national team need to have this called out. So it's the exact same talking point from two different players. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, but Adams' tone is different from Zimmerman's.
Sure, fair enough.
Zimmerman's comes from a place of sourness.
I'm not on the team anymore.
Adams comes from a place of not taking any responsibility for being a mild reach-around Greg Berhalter supporter. Okay? He didn't ever take responsibility for that, and he's not going to apologize, and I'm going to ask him to apologize. He just could have said it better. They're two different things. What Tyler Adams is saying is not so much what Zimmerman is saying. They're slightly tied together. But I think what Adams is saying is, listen, at this point, we need a real fucking leader. Period. End of story. Guy's going to come in. He ain't going to hand out flowers and run little freaking Hershey Kiss, fireside chats where we roast marshmallows together and sing Kumbaya. That shit needs to go out the door is basically what he's saying. Because Ream was talking about in the Copa America like, oh, yeah, this is the best camp I ever been to. This is like the most brotherly loving, reach around giving, cock snuggling, ball hugging group I've ever been around. Is that what you really want? I want to see some fucking discipline. And I think that's what Adams finally had to wrap his arms around. Like, this team is full of a bunch of fucking pussy farts that need a swift kick in the asshole. And even he needs to say it now because that's the truth. And maybe he didn't say it the right way, but at least he said it. At least he said it. And it's a big condemnation, by the way, indirectly of Greg Berhalter, who he never mentioned. But if you're saying this team needs a swift kick in the ass and a ruthless manager, you're basically saying Greg didn't kick anybody in the ass and he's a pussy fart. And that's what he said without saying it, honestly.
So Derek, I was listening to you go on that rant and I was like, man, if we could just take this segment and turn it into a short, but we'd have to censor everything you say with like some kind of a funny noise. I feel like 90% of that would just be a funny noise. But that was a great point. 100% agree with all of what you just said there, especially Berhalter being a pussy fart.
That's totally true. I mean, that was the most ruthless indirect attack you could possibly make on your ex-coach without using his name or pointing his practices out as this big builder of learning communities and leadership and all this flowery culture horseshit. I don't want any more of these flowery, Southgate types. Screw that. Oh, he's a modern manager. Modern manager? That kind of modern manager might as well have labia coming like around his forehead and into his face. Because no offense to labia, but that guy,
when they're coming, right?
I mean, the dude has not. It's the opposite of all the best managers you know in the world, right? Yeah. The opposite. That kind of shit leads to championships lost, and for Southgate, and in our case, with amazing talent, but for Southgate. So, but for us, it leads to like incredible failure, and with a roster that's probably the best roster we've ever had playing abroad. So anyhow,
yep. Yeah, I'm trying to find it real quick, but perfect timing. There we are.
All right.
So Ronaldo posted this, and he goes, "Now this is coaching," and it's a Bobby Knight video. Did you see this video?
Yeah, I think I have, because I know my Bobby Knight, because obviously I was an IU student.
Yeah.
And then I was still living there when Bobby Knight got fired, but this is before he got fired. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen this video before, but it was a great fucking video. So if you're cool with me wasting 3 minutes here, I want to play it.
Talk about a ball buster.
Yeah.
After the first half of our game with Spain in 1984 for the gold medal, we're ahead by 29 points. We've played basketball as well as the game can be played. Michael Jordan has played 12 minutes out of the 20. He has 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 19 points in 12 minutes. In my opinion, there's nobody that's ever played anything that can compare to Michael Jordan, with the possible exception of Jack Nicklaus and Babe Ruth.
I don't think we're going to get struck for this.
No. I'm just pausing from time to time to talk about certain things here. But yeah, you're right. This isn't a legit video anywhere from anybody. I think this is just somebody recording it.
And by the way, I don't think we need Bobby Knight.
As I mentioned to Eric when he goes, "Now this is coaching." I go, I'd be impressed if our next manager was able to throw the bench onto the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Knight was the ultimate mind fucker. Like, he held everybody accountable 100% of the time. But this story is with Michael Jordan is spectacular.
Such a great, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is just the best there ever was at what he does by a considerable margin. So I'm walking across the floor with this 29-point lead as I look at the scoreboard, and I'm a great believer in the best 3 minutes of the game for us has got to be the first 3 minutes of the second half. But what the hell am I going to say? Hey, we got to get better. We're 29 points ahead. We got to win by 50 now.
Yeah.
These kids are going to be a little bit satisfied with themselves.
Yep.
They know how well they played. And when I get to the locker room, I still haven't come up with an answer. I open the door, and the first guy I see is Jordan sitting in front of his locker. Idea light flashes. I say to myself, I'm going to get on Jordan's ass a little bit. And everybody else is going to say, God, if he's upset with Jordan, how's he feel about me? 12 minutes, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. And I have the stat sheet in my hand, and I walk over in front of Jordan, and I look down at him, and I say, Mike, when the hell are you going to set a screen? We got 4 guys out there screening when you're in the game, screening to get you open, screening to get each other open. Haven't seen you set a screen yet. The only way I get all 5 guys screening, Mike, is to get you the hell out of the game. Now, when are you going to set a screen? All you've been doing so far, goddammit, is rebounding, passing, and scoring. You need to screen, Mike.
That's amazing.
Now, Jordan, you've all seen the grin. I mean, it's the greatest grin in the world. Doesn't quite use all of his grin in this circumstance. But he looked up at me and he grins a little bit and he says, Coach, didn't I see last week where you said I was the quickest player you'd ever been around? I said, Mike, what the hell has that got to do with you screening? Coach, I think I'm setting them quicker than you can see them out there. Well, I was flexible enough to look at Jordan and say, then God damn it, slow him down a little bit so I can see him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need anybody as nasty as that guy, but I mean, he was great at what he did for sure. Yeah.
What a great story.
You got to hold people accountable. And then if you need to push them to the next level because they're happy with where they're at, you got to find a way to do that. It's amazing that he's walking into the locker room at halftime and really isn't sure, but he knows he needs to do something. So he's like, well, I'm going to pick on the best player on the team. And, what a fucking amazing idea. But it ended up being, obviously funny.
Slow down.
Yeah. Slow him down so I can see him. God damn it. I mean, that's just so great. Yeah. And that's kind of that's an old school way of coaching that isn't totally gone. Obviously, we saw that with Alex Ferguson. He used to play those mind games with his players, obviously. He played those tricks. He knew how to motivate guys. We know, of course, that there are coaches out there that can do that. Klopp is more of a warm guy, but in a one-to-one conversation, he'll let you know where you're failing. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there are still coaches out there, obviously the manager of Man City, who don't suffer fools at all. And it's time to stop suffering foolish shit. It's time to put a foot up somebody's ass, all their asses, honestly, on this team, because we're not giving any more of these players any more of a pass. Berhalter's going to be gone. And if we have a coach like Pochettino, or we got a coach like, even if it's Benitez, I'm sorry, even if it's Benitez, Benitez is not going to suffer fools. He just doesn't do it. It's time to hold the players accountable as well. We've held Greg accountable for very long, not too long. We held him accountable as long as it was rational to do so until the end. And now he's gone. And it's now time to hold the players accountable when this new coach is hired. Unfortunately, if the new coach is like Dolo, then we're just starting from the beginning again. We might as well be opening presents, bad presents on Christmas Day, because we don't know what the fuck we're going to get. We really don't in those presents. What are we getting there? Because Dolo's no disciplinarian. I can tell you that flat out. He is not going to be the kind of guy that's going to crawl up a player's ass and let him know he's not performing. He's just not that kind of guy. It's not what he's going to do. So we do need somebody who's going to be willing to do that and won't shirk and won't be embarrassed or won't be afraid to get in these guys and doesn't want to be their best fucking friend. I don't care about being the player's best buddy, where you get him on the phone. Well, we don't even talk about soccer. He's just asking me about my baby. Like me and Greg, we never talk about soccer at all. It's so crazy. All right. Thanks, Tyler. So when you and fucking Greg get together on the phone or on Zoom, you don't even talk about soccer? Really? Why did you say that? That's weird. It's just weird. It seems like the one thing you guys have in common outside of families is your job at the U.S. men's national team to succeed. Why aren't you talking about soccer? That's pretty fucking weird, if you ask me. I'm not against having like the first 5 minutes of the conversation or 10 minutes be about the family. Hey, how are your kids? How you doing? How's your wife? What'd you eat for dinner? Okay, great. Hey, here's some things we need to discuss about the games coming up in the future.
Derek wants a conversation of, hey, Tyler, how are the kids? And Tyler's about to say something. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to care about your kids. This is what we're going to talk about.
We don't need Bobby Knight where he'd be like, your kids. I've got kids. You have kids. Fuck off. I don't care about my kids, your kids.
You've got kids. Congratulations. Let's talk about the sport.
It's about the game. And don't ask me about like whether or not what a game face looks like. Does it look like this? Or this? You know, you remember Bobby Knight's like, so when do you guys put on your game faces? And Bobby's like, what's a fucking game face? Does the game face look like this? Or this? What's a game face? No, we come out there prepared to play the game. We don't put on a game face. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
The game face is this right here. Now the camera. Oh, I'm ready.
It looks like you're really trying to push out a log on the toilet.
Maybe I am, Derek. You don't know.
All right. I guess this did pretty well for a late joiner to the conversation.
Yeah, 2.8. Not bad. Not bad.
It's not bad. But Adams was a Greg endorser. Greg was great at let's all roast marshmallows together at the campfire and sing songs. Kumbaya. That's Southgate's strength, too. He's a kumbaya guy. He's no tactician or barking dog. Tyler wants a dog with teeth as manager. Okay, but you shouldn't have endorsed Greg then, or tacitly endorsed Greg. Like, no doubt that Weah and Pulisic were the two whores around Greg's like back rear end, reaching around and giving him the double. Like
you're doing great, Greg.
I mean, they're giving him the double jack off.
Keep starting me at right mid. All right, please.
But I do think that Adams was in the room and sort of just rubbing the head of the penis. He didn't say as much as Weah. He didn't say as much as Pulisic did publicly. But when the phone calls came from Crocker about whether or not Greg should be rehired, he had a say, and he blew it. And that's why people are upset. So for people who are saying, this is stupid, why are all these people so angry? It's because people kept receipts. That's why. People keep receipts. And when they say see you make a massive U-turn without explaining why you're making a massive U-turn, like, yeah, you know, I've evolved. I've thought about it. I've had time to think about it, and I'm evolving in the way I'm thinking about this team, and here's what I think we need now. Like, if you can't even say that, you don't have to apologize. Nobody's asking for apologies. But I'm sorry, people got receipts. And when people have receipts, they're going to call your ass out. Now, I don't like the Tyler hate. I'm not for that. I don't like Tyler Adams hate. And
I just said I couldn't take anything he says seriously anymore. Why did we actually interview players at this point?
Well,
because I said it was passive aggressive in the sense that he's saying exactly what everybody wants to hear, but somebody corrected me and said, no, this is more pandering than anything.
Well, you know what's really crazy? You go on Men in Blazers, which I'm sorry, their views are not impressive on YouTube. I personally not impressed for their big ass name. Imagine we wouldn't do it. Because he wouldn't do it either, by the way. Come on our show. No way. And when I say come on our show, I don't mean like, you know, what I'm saying is,
oh, this is a live show. What the hell, man?
Like, that's not going to be the most comfortable thing. Like, he knows if he goes talk to Roger, it's all going to be jolly and good. And the thing is, Roger never pressed him for an explanation about his sudden change of view about what the team needed. Because after he just indirectly called Berhalter a total pussy queef, right? Right.
Well, and I mean, I guess the problem there is that it takes away from the media trained scripted answers that he's ready for. And I'm not saying that he asked like, hey, this is the question I'm going to ask you. Prepare yourself. But he has a Tyler is incredibly good as far as the public or as far as the media is concerned. He goes out there, he gives his spiel. It sounds legit. It sounds good. But then if you start categorizing over the course of years and years and years, and you start seeing a trend that it flip flops all around, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's no pushback because if Roger were to say, well, why did you say this, literally like 4 months ago? What do you think he's going to say? Like, a lot has changed in 4 months, Raj.
Well, he could say, that's not a bad answer. A lot has changed in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
and I've had time to reflect on it. And I think going forward, if he would have just said this, and I've reflected on it, and I think what we need going forward, just based on our Copa performance, and I think we need somebody.
Maybe we are a little too comfortable right now. Maybe we need somebody to kick us in the butt.
Yeah, we need somebody to kick us in our ass. And that's basically what he said when he said ruthless. So, Herc tore all you guys to shreds.
Colin, tag me in the video, man. I want to watch it. Let me know which one it is. It'll be the highlight of next show if it's the case.
Tore all who guys? Who, like me, you, Tack, Pete, who? Like Tact and Herc and Pete are friends. I
tag me in the video, man. I would love to see it.
Yeah, tag us in the video. I would really be surprised if we were included in that. Honestly, because Herc doesn't give two F's about us. He doesn't care. Doesn't care who we are. So, I mean, we can't have them on the show because their show's on the same time our show's on. We'd have to have them on.
I think they care about us a lot because they did that on purpose. These motherfuckers with like 3,000 subs are on at this time. We need to cut them off.
Sorry, it's almost to 4,000, Brett. So don't short us out. And by the way,
I was playing a role there. I was playing Herc. So,
well, I will tell you this. Our 4,000 almost are the most dedicated, fucking balls out, realistic, smartest viewers in U.S. soccer. And that's not just because they watch us. It's just because I watch their comments. And they're fun people. They're smart people. They have a sense of fucking humor. Like, where are you going to get that on all the other shows? You just don't get a lot of that watching other shows.
We're the show that really allows it to run rampant. Quite frankly, the humor aspects. I mean, we had a 5-minute stint where people came up with nicknames for the vagina. So
Derek BMR says Derek trying to get those super chats. Man, the super chats seem to be over, dude. I'm not even stretching for that. Oh, by the way, if you want to super chat the show to get your comments on, we will read them if you do super chat them. Otherwise, fuck off.
But you could, for the 353 of you out there, you guys could still go over there and hit that like button. Because I guarantee you, we do not have 353 likes.
Yeah, hit the fucking like button. I mean, how hard is that? Use a phalange.
Hey, if we get to 300 likes, Derek will shave his head.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that, Brett. I'm not fucking a doll, shaving my head, shaving my balls, none of that.
Self-sacrifice for the show. We gotta boost this, man.
I might sing Even Flow, but that's about it. All right.
Fair enough, Derek. Fair enough.
All right. Anyhow,
Soccer Dad wants you to name a single player that doesn't publicly endorse their coach.
Okay. Yeah. Joe Scally, Pepe, about 100 other players throughout history who've come out and shit on their coach publicly. Like, it's ridiculous. It happens all the time. There are players that get left off international rosters because they've come out and shit on their coach. Happens all the time. So this, and by the way, when Ream was asked to endorse Berhalter, he said, "That's not my decision."
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not making that decision. So whoever it is, I'm ready to work with him or /her. So listen, it's not this whole idea that you have to endorse your former coach that might be the new coach. You don't have to do it because Ream was still called up after he said, it's not my decision. And then McKenny was still called up after saying, I don't care who the coach is. This is a great team. We're tight. We're going to be great no matter who it is. So there are diplomatic ways to doing this without blowing Berhalter's horn. You don't need to give him the rusty trombone. The reason Pulisic and Weah gave him the rusty trombone was because they wanted him back. The rest of them didn't really give that much two shits of a care. And some of them actively did not want him back. And it wasn't just Scally, Pepe, and Reyna. Those are well known. There were more. There were more. We've been told behind the scenes. There were more than 3. It was more like 7 or 8 that were actively hoping he did not come back. So take that as you will. I'm just not naming their names because they're not public and I'm not outing them.
We've been down that road before and it doesn't work out well.
I mean, they might come out, 6 months from now and say something, but I'm not outing them just to out them. No, but the ones that are public, we can out. The ones that are already public.
I think any active players will not come out and talk bad about any previous managers or anything, especially a yes man like Greg.
I can name another one, Mackenzie, Trusty. Well, that one should be obvious. Trusty should be obvious.
At all. Of course, he's gonna be bitchy.
Right. Who else has we got word that didn't like him? That ones that are just so obvious, of course, that's the case. So those are the ones I've got that are obvious that I have no problem naming. 2 of them are private, but that's okay. They got nothing to lose anyhow at this point because Greg is gone. But yeah, Mackenzie was no fan of Greg either, and nor was Trusty. Although, well, that's obvious why. Trusty never got called up, so that's not a surprise. It'd be interesting to see what Maloney thought in his short time with Greg. I mean, I'm pretty sure Maloney would probably think he's a real Nimrod as well, but oh well.
What's funny about our chat in general is that you mentioned giving Berhalter the rusty trombone, and nobody sat there in the chat go, "What the fuck's a rusty trombone?"
No, everybody knows.
Everybody knows it now.
Yep.
Or they knew it beforehand, but there was a time where people were like, "What?"
Yeah, no, there was. That and the what's the one? The donkey punch?
Is
that what it's called?
Enjoy the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to this main topic before we die off and wither on the vine.
We already talked about the public apology thing. I guess we don't have to go over this at all.
Yeah, but I did want to address this.
Oh, go for it.
You guys all want players to go on a public apology tour for backing a coach they are loyal to. First of all, I have to say there aren't many of them who back Berhalter publicly. I mentioned Weah, I mentioned Pulisic, and sorta Adams. But outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot of vocal support for Greg. Honestly, there wasn't. So he goes on, what does that do other than create drama and signal a potential new coach that players will shit on once you leave? Just not the move at all. Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing. All the other players did the right thing. They basically stayed neutral or they weren't asked. But if they were asked, like Ream was, they said, it's not my decision who the next coach is going to be. And, because they asked him, so do you think Greg should be be rehired? And he said, it's not my decision who the new coach is going to be. I'm ready to work with whoever they hire. It's not my decision. That's the right answer to that question. The fact that Pulisic did a publicity stunt after stunt for Greg, that's the problem. Why? Because Pulisic's dad loved him some Greg Berhalter. Loved him some Greg Berhalter.
My son. Now that whole the interview with the ESPN, the guy from Ireland or whatever, that we did an entire show on. That just screamed the Propo from Hunger Games. I don't know if you ever watched the Hunger Games or anything.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It was so eerily similar to that.
Yeah.
I figured there's gonna be a second and a third one. Each time Pulisic would look more gone. He'd look more like he's being starved and having to answer. He's like, just bring Greg back, please, for the love of God.
You know what? When you're an interviewer and you talk 70% of the interview, then you're a bad interviewer, because your job as an interviewer is to talk 20% of the time and let the other guy answer 80%. That was the most disgusting thing. And we were told by sources I'm going to say it again, that King Pulisic's dad picked that prick out specifically to interview him for that long ass interview, in which he only spoke 20% of the time.
It's just creepy and weird to watch, man.
It was. I rewatched it like a month ago, just so I could remember it.
For shits and giggle?
And it was as bad as I remembered it. It really was. I've never seen such a horrible interview. I've never seen somebody so uncomfortable. And I've never seen such a reporter, an interviewer, so jerking his own cock off in front of the camera and splurting just loving his little soliloquies that he went on for like 5 minutes at a time before he asked the question. What a bunch of jack shit. And believe me, people, if you have not seen that video, go find it. I don't remember how many months it was ago, but I believe it's an ESPN FC interview with Pulisic.
Months ago. It was like a month after Berhalter was being investigated.
Right. It was between Pulisic and some Irish fuck who's the biggest piece of shit you've ever met. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like the most self-centered fucking I'm the star of the show interviewer you have ever met. What a piece of shit that guy is. Piece of work for sure. Chris Gary, laughing out loud, forgot about that interview. I know Pulisic doesn't have a personality, but that interviewer really loved his own voice. That guy was jerking himself the whole interview. Like there was Irish.
This is going to be on ESPN.
There was Irish Spring splattering all over the floor. That guy was so enamored with himself. It was disgusting. So go find it because you will mostly be repulsed through all of it, but you'll understand what we're saying. All right. For the almost 370 of you, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and fuck your stepsister right in the asshole. All right. Where are we? We're getting late.
Real quick on that, yeah. Good news is we might have a manager. The breaking news is that we might have a manager that might be ruthless enough for Tyler Adams.
Pochettino. Pochettino. I'll take him. Yeah. Brett, I'll take him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ruthless enough. I really don't. I also don't know.
Be more ruthless than Craig, though.
I don't know how realistic it is. I do know that Matt Crocker sucked his cock at least 4 or 5 times while they were at Southampton together.
Yeah.
So
somebody got the interview here.
I heard Betty's pretty good at that. So they know each other well. And Pochettino apparently was tied up and was going, no, stop, Matt, no, stop, no, sucky, Matt. But hey, Matt did what he had to do to get him to stay at Southampton, at least until Tottenham came a calling.
You were really talking about muffins.
Yeah, they love cooking together.
Yeah.
They did like that. They spent a lot of time in the kitchen. Pochettino was not really into the British pastries and the spotted dick, but Betty really introduced him to the spotted dick, and he liked the spotted dick once he got introduced to it. So, like, that's the big connection, folks. Really, the connection is between them at Southampton. So he's got his direct line. So obviously he could just call Pochettino, unless Pochettino changed phone numbers, which I don't think he has. And so they've been talking to Pochettino and his camp. None of us, anybody that thinks this is like a done deal at this point, don't think that, because it's just not. Because England are going after Mauricio as well. Like, there's no done deal here. Let's see here. Pochettino's camp first met with U.S. Soccer sporting director Betty Crocker in Europe in mid-July, according to multiple sources.
3 weeks ago.
Yep. He was one of a number of high-profile coaches that the Federation had initial conversations with directly or through intermediaries. Others include former Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp. We all knew that was never going to happen. Ex-England coach Gareth Southgate. God damn, stab me in the head with an ice pick. Are you fucking serious? Gareth Southgate, of all people? That's basically Greg Berhalter Sr.
Yeah.
We don't need Greg Berhalter Sr. We don't need him.
We need to get rid of this Berhalter guy. Who are we going to bring in? Berhalter
His
2.0?
replica. Yeah, his English replica.
What?
With worse teeth?
He's got a funny accent and worse teeth. Yeah.
A worse looking Berhalter?
It's Berhalter with hair and funny teeth.
Give me a break. And he's got no ball sack. He's not holding anybody accountable. He was a fucking pussy sucker to his team. He had his own leadership council that dominated him too. You really want that? You want that all over again? No, I don't. I want somebody.
He's English.
Him. I don't fucking care. The English are overrated, period. And current Hoffenheim manager Pellegrino Matarazzo, which seems to be out of the window.
Sailed, yep.
Patrick Vieira, who recently stepped down from his post with Strasbourg. I'm sure that's still somewhere bubbling in the kitchen. Who also reportedly contacted Vieira, who coached New York, whatever, and has since spoken to Atlanta at United about the vacancy per multiple sources. So I wouldn't be surprised if Berhalter ends up at Atlanta, honestly. But it could be Patrick Vieira. I'd be very surprised if it was, because I think Patrick Vieira cleared the air so he could negotiate for that U.S. men's national team job, which he was also interested in the first time around.
Isn't there a kind of a question mark with Patrick at this point if his option is either U.S. men's national team or Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I was looking at this list going, man, this is a Doug McIntyre article, and going,
If we hired
here's a list of some high quality European coaches, but will we end up with them? Is this just the propo that comes out?
Well, all I'm going to say, if Gareth Southgate gets hired, I'm going to commit Harry Kari. Seriously. I mean, not literally, but metaphorically in my brain.
Figuratively, yeah.
Because we just don't need pussyfootitis anymore. Pussyfootitis is Greg Berhalter, and all Gareth Southgate is pussyfoot. It's the same thing, but English with an English accent. You don't need the same thing because he was Greg's mentor. Keep that in mind. Gareth Southgate was Greg Berhalter's mentor and friend. And they talked on a regular basis and shared ideas about building leadership teams and leadership councils and getting buy-in and building cultures and jerking off together in front of in a circle jerk in front of a campfire on the marshmallows and then eating the marshmallows with the cum on them together. Yeah, we don't need that. That's gross, number one. It's disgusting. You don't eat marshmallows with semen on them. All right? So that's number one. And number two, we just don't need any more of that. Commit what? What are you saying, BMR?
You said something you were going to commit.
Harikari. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. It's a Japanese word.
Oh, I would have imagined you meant to say seppuku.
No, there's another word for it too.
Oh.
There's several words for seppuku. Harikari is like close. I don't know how different the two are, but it's sort of the same thing. Anyhow, the point being, we don't need Southgate. We don't want Southgate. I don't want anything to do with Southgate. Pellegrino Matarazzo doesn't seem to have actually been offered anything seriously. So those spazzes in Europe and Sky Sports that came out with that report and splattered it all over the wall. Yeah, I never trusted it in the first place.
So. Derek, if we hire Southgate, don't commit seppuku. At least go out like David Carradine did, and hang yourself while masturbating.
No,
because then that'd be funny, and I can talk about it on the show.
No, I'm not doing that. No, no. What I will do is just not watch a lot of Southgate because I just don't want to watch that. And you think it's going to get better if he coaches a team with less talent than England? Because that's what we got. We got less talent than England. How's he going to do better with less talent? Harikari, that's just seppuku. I think it's the same thing.
They're synonymous, yeah.
I think they're the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're different regions of Japan. I think the samurais called it one thing, and regular Japanese people had another word for it. So I don't know. I'm not an expert in Japanese history. I will admit that. I'm an expert in a lot of history, especially Napoleonic Wars and World War II, but Civil War. But I'm not an expert on Japanese culture. So there we go. Harikari is disemboweling yourself. It's sort of, isn't that what?
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a slow death, and it's meant to maintain honor.
By the way, that's a metaphor, people. I wouldn't actually do that. I have more respect for myself. So there you go. All right.
There are worse ways to die than masturbating and hanging yourself at the same time. Just saying.
Yeah. What's the singer that did that too? In X. Oh shit. I love you tonight. In Excess, the lead singer In Excess, he did the same thing where he was jerking off and hanging himself at the same time, but not to commit suicide. It's just that
it was an accident. I mean, David wasn't trying to kill himself either.
Right. It was an accident. Right.
Untouchable says to watch Shogun. I've heard good things about it. Let me sit down and watch it.
What channel?
It's.
Oh, by the way,
is Paramount or Peacock or something like that?
It's something like that. Then I got it. Michael Hutchins, exactly, was the lead singer of In Excess. Yes, and he was jerking it and choking it, and he ended up choking it before he jerked it. So, unfortunately for him,
it's on Hulu.
Oh fuck, Hulu! I do not have. I do not get Hulu. Can you get?
Tom says to watch Ronin as well. Isn't that the what's his face? John Wick dude. Why am I spacing his name right now?
By the way, Keanu Reeves.
There you go.
Keanu Reeves is in Indiana tonight at the fairgrounds playing with his band called Butt Star or whatever.
I'm sure it's not Butt Star.
I can't remember the name of the band.
I'm sure Keanu Reeves goes, I'm gonna make a band. And we're gonna call ourselves Butt Star.
Oh man, it's something like
Dog Star.
Dog Star. Okay. Yeah, they're here today.
Derek, Bmar wants you to pronounce Keanu again.
Keanu Reeves. I know I said Keanu Reeves.
He's like Keanu Reeves. He's got a gambling addiction. It's a bitch, guy.
No, it's not. It's getting late. I've been up since 6 this morning, so as you have too, but
maybe it's the last Ronin that has Keanu Reeves. I don't know.
Anyhow,
mix up movies. Tom says Ronin is De Niro.
De Niro. Okay.
Isn't that Ronin with an A-N, not I-N?
I wish De Niro would just stick to movies at this point because he's not really good at politics. Like, if you go on Bill Maher, and Bill Maher's like, damn, dude, you're kind of clueless. Like, don't go on Bill Maher and look clueless. That's all I'm saying. Have some reasons, have some points lined up. Like, if you're going to, there are plenty of things you could line up and make points on. He made no points. No points. Like, he had no game plan going on Bill Maher. You got to have a game plan. Don't go on there and look like some weird ass old man who's just lost his way and you're just spewing out weird ass shit. Have some here's bullet point 1, here's bullet point 2, bullet point 3 of why I don't like that motherfucker. Right? That's not hard to do. He had no bullet points. Anyhow, so he should stop doing politics because he's bad at it and just shut up and go back to acting. If you're good at politics, I'd say go ahead and do it. But if you're not, just shut up and go back to acting and just shut the fuck up because you look like a crazy motherfucker. That's what you look like. All right. And there's plenty of ways to attack your opposition that you failed to embrace, apparently, or even think about like real points. They're out there. People are there are ways to attack anybody right? Anybody. You could attack me, Brett. You could attack the left, the right. Have some bullet points at least, for Christ's sake. All right. What's this?
Oh, this is CBS Golazzo talking about Pochettino's potential hiring and how they address it.
I mean,
look at that title. Breaking news.
Pochettino become U.S. men's national. So while you're reading that, you're like, Pochettino become U.S. men's national team head coach? Question mark.
Question? That's not breaking news.
And then you're like, that's not breaking news. I got to put the loop away. God damn it.
That sounds just like another rumor. It might have some legs, but...
I mean, we kind of did the same thing, but not really. Like, our thumbnail was pretty obvious that this was kind of like, whatever, dude. You know, like, okay.
I mean, is Pochettino ruthless enough for Tyler Adams? We're not saying that he's going to be the coach. We're saying, hey, here's the rumor, guys.
Exactly. And they put that out there and hoping people didn't notice the question mark.
The intro to the video. Just watch this right here. Watch us.
Okay.
We have some breaking news in the hunt for the next
Do we really?
As Mauricio Pochettino, former PSG, Tottenham and Chelsea manager, has emerged as one of the front runners for the job. We are here with Paul.
That's not breaking news.
Breaking news. This guy's being considered by Betty Crocker.
There are like 3, 4, 5, 6 articles that have already come out before you broke it on Golazzo.
We talked about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
This show is so fucking lame, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. This show is like the lamest, one of the lamest fucking shows. Do I watch it? Yes. Because guess what? Sometimes there's nothing else to watch about soccer, and it's a 24-hour revolving bunch of shows. And so you watch it on Paramount, and you just, go to sleep while you watch it or whatever. And this show is so bad. It's not really run by real soccer people. I'm okay with Nico Cantor most of the time.
Sure.
The other guy from I think he's from the Cooligans. I mean,
Cooligans guy. He's got his moments.
He's got his moments, but it's not great. And it's just the whole way the show's set up. It's not very engaging or interesting.
Yeah.
And, one guy's Nico's always sipping his little sippy cup while he's talking. That's weird.
I don't know. That is weird, Derek. I know.
He's always got a straw. He's like, well, I think this and I think that. And you're like, what the fuck? The dude's just like drinking his little sippy cup during the show, the whole show, in between comments. It's a little weird. It's a little unprofessional. Not that we're not unprofessional, but we're not on fucking CBS, motherfuckers. So yeah, we can we can both scrub up.
Your glass in this little guy,
Believe me, Brett and I can both scrub up, and we can be professional. Trust us.
I look damn good already. I'm just talking about.
And we were very professional on big soccer for 4 years.
Yeah.
Very professional. So
BMR says that's the opposite of breaking news. LOL.
Yeah, exactly.
McChronicle says the term breaking news is nothing more than a meme at this point. Let's be honest. That's true. Everything's breaking news,
That doesn't mean that if you have a conscience that you should lie.
Dun, dun, dun. Breaking news.
You shouldn't lie about that shit.
Derek, I'm gonna come up with a breaking news segment just to throw up every fucking show from now on.
Yeah, here's my next breaking news story that'll go wild. And it'll have a question mark at the end of it. Here's the breaking news. Pete, doubt it, dies of syphilis, question mark.
Yeah. It'd be like breaking news, and you have all these flashing breaking newses, and like South Korean archers are hot.
Oh no, here's the better one. Here's the better one, okay? Pete Doubt dies of syphilis after apparent sexual engagement with tactical manager, question mark. Question mark, question mark.
I mean, our biggest attended show ever, by the way. I'm just flying.
I mean, listen, if that's your headline going into it, that's how fucking ridiculous this shit is. They didn't break the story, so they can't say this is breaking news. I mean, it's breaking news that other people already broke 6 times over. 6 times over, people have already broke the news.
B-More says, clip it. Clip it.
Don't. Listen, if you clip it, I'm just going to explain it to them on the phone.
Put a bunch of breaking news things in front of it, too, before you do it. Like, Then Derek talks about how Pete died of syphilis because of tact.
And you probably don't die that quickly from syphilis anyhow. The point being, you can't pretend, A, you broke the story because you didn't break it, and B, you know what the fuck you're talking about because you don't know any more than the 5 articles you just read, mostly one article written by one particular person who broke the story. That was, it wasn't Doug this time, it was Tenorio. So
Paul's on here because Doug quoted Paul's breaking news.
Yeah, everybody, basically, whoever Tenorio knows, because apparently he sucks a lot of fucking U.S. Soccer cock over there at U.S. Soccer. He got the breaking news. No offense, Tenorio. You know. No
offense. Yeah, this is just how we talk, guys. Come on.
I mean, listen, we busted that bridge a long time ago, so it doesn't matter. I'm sure his lips are pretty, sore, but he got whatever he got. But even he said, this is sort of still a he said, she said thing because I still got a bunch of other sources I need to resource and check out and confirm with, because this is really just nothing right now, right?
Let's listen to the question they asked him. Let's hear his response, because you basically kind of just led into it, which is one of the big reasons why I pulled this up.
Paul Tenorio, senior writer from The Athletic, talking about Pochettino. Poch Watch. So, Paul, what do you have for us?
Poch Watch.
Yeah, well, Pochettino has emerged as one of the top candidates for the U.S. men's national team job. According to the sources I spoke with, he is a favorite among some of those leading the search. And
okay, so
he's a favorite.
So some of those. So the guys leading the search are Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one would be Oguchi Onyewu. And then I'm guessing that Betty Crocker probably has a couple fucking assistant directors that he overlords over that are also making phone calls, but they live at the bottom of the basement of U.S. Soccer. So they're just making phone calls. And they probably look like Gollum. Yeah, because they haven't been fed for a while. Yeah. And Kate Beckinsale is a top target to be my wife.
That's the thing, right? Untouchables had this like 5 minutes ago.
No, it's true.
Exactly accurate. It's like, yeah, she's the top candidate. This is who I really want for my wife. But is she really gonna be your wife? Maybe not. Maybe not.
It'd be like saying, breaking news: Danica Patrick's new boyfriend with a 12-inch penis apparently is some unknown guy named Derek Ritchie who runs a soccer podcast. It's like breaking news. Like, I mean, come on. Really? She loves sucking his cock for hours at night. I mean, seriously, this is so ridiculous.
So it's okay for her to do, but not for you?
Oh, no. I mean,
all night? Oh, my God. It sounds like a lot of work.
If Danica Patrick were my girlfriend, that'd be a different story. I would reciprocate, of course. What I'm talking about is the ridiculousness of this story. I mean, it's absurd. It's just like, okay, we really don't have any information about how far this is along. We have no information about whether, Pochettino is even interested or whether his balls get a little warm when he starts thinking about the job. We have nothing. We have absolutely nothing except for Paul Tenorio's flapping lips telling a story. But we've seen other people flap their lips before, like Doug McIntyre, and give us a big load of whopping crap that U.S. Soccer wants to unload on purpose to the press to test the waters, A, and B, in other cases with Matarazzo as well, to let us know they're really working hard. They're working hard. They're really working hard. They've whipped out the lube. They're they're going after it. So whatever, dude. I mean, nobody's getting any leaks really that much. So Paul getting some leaks is great. But even he says, I can't confirm much of this because I have some sources I trust and some I don't.
Well, he just flat out states that this is their favorite. Okay, what does that mean? Do you have any idea what Pochettino is thinking?
I mean,
or does Betty just sit there and go, oh?
Who did he talk to? If he's talking to Betty Crocker proper, I'm like, okay, then I'm a legit. Some of this got to be some legitimacy to this. But if he's talking to Oguchi on Yehua, I'm like, well, that lessens it. And then if he's talking to like the janitor in the basement at US Soccer, then that seriously limits it. Mm-hmm. And who else could he be talking to? I can think of one other person in particular that has been a leaker. But I don't know if that's where that's coming from either. And of course, we're not going to say who that person is here.
I do want to say though that the chat is all behind your Danica Patrick love.
Oh, I love
Danica. They want to congratulate you on your new lady friend. And I wanted to pull up Griff here because I don't recognize Griff in the chat. And this is maybe a first time post.
Yeah. So
respect, man. Respect.
Here's the thing. I've met
Danica
Patrick before in person. And she's very small. She's a very small person. But yeah, I mean, this is like 10 years ago. Very cute. And I like Danica Patrick. She was very nice to me. And I was to her absolutely zero nobody. And it was at a restaurant. And I was with somebody from IMS in the restaurant, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was Tom Dunmore.
I was there with Tom. Yeah.
Yep. And I met actually two women during that lunch who came over and talked to us. And one of them was Danica because she knew Tom. And she introduced me. Tom introduced me to her. And we had like this great little 5-minute talk. And like
his number, never called.
Never. No, she didn't. I didn't get her phone number or anything. But she was super nice. And, you know, I followed her, obviously, her career. Love me. I love me. And I said this on the show. I love me some Danica Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Here we go. I'm weird. All right. Let's see.
I guess we're going to end this Pochettino video right here on the fact that we're not saying he's not going to be the U.S. manager.
I love him.
We're not saying he is. All we're saying is that you have a TV stations podcast on YouTube and all sorts of places breaking news that he's on the top of Betty Crocker's list. That's not news, guys.
It's not.
That's not news. Stop making it sound news. Quit going for those hits. I mean, we title our videos. Some people like question our video titles, and we're like, dude, we're just posting shit. So it's a nice question mark video that draws people in, and then we talk about it. But this is just sort of like breaking news. Pochettino might possibly could be the next U.S. men's national team manager. You never know. Anything's possible.
And then Paul Tenorio comes and says, like, yeah, I got like two sources that say yes, and then one that I'm not sure about, and bada. But it's breaking news. I'm Paul Tenorio.
Scratched off Matarazzo's name on the list, and the next person on the list was Pochettino.
I'm Paul Tenorio. A couple of my fucking sources say yeah. We go with the yeah here on this show. Suck my Tenorio nutsack. So anyhow, I'm the guy that likes Thierry Henry. I'm the guy that likes the Dolo. I like the Dolo because he's a Dolo like me. Whatever that means. He's got the same sort of ending of his name, like the Tenorio, the Cherundolo. I'm for the Cherundolo too. Hey. Yeah, whatever, man. Okay, so believe that as far as you can throw it. That's all I got to say. I don't know how much of this is posturing. I don't know how much of this is actually reality. And keep in mind, England are also tickling Pochettino's nuts right now. And they have money too, and they can spend too. So we will see I wouldn't get too excited. I would not break out the loop yet. Would I love to have Pochettino? I think that would be a good pick. But at this point, I will settle for others. If we're going to probably have to settle for others, more than likely, if we have to settle for Benitez, you know what? I'll swallow it. I'll take it right down the throat. And, whatever. I will deal with it. And, but whatever it is, just as long as it's not Cherundolo or some guy just still wearing diapers as a coach, I'll be fine. Now, as long as it isn't some like friendly, hey, we know this guy. He's a part of our system here at US Soccer. We love this guy. We love like fellatiating with him on a regular basis.
He used to room with Berhalter on the road.
He was Berhalter's roommate. He used to give him back rubs.
They got pizza together nonstop.
And then they'd fuck each other up the assholes. Yeah, I mean, if that's what we end up with, then no, I don't need that. But, we could end up settling people, and that's fine. I think we should all get in the mindset that could possibly happen. And if it's Nancy or God forbid it's Thierry Henry, I hope it's not. But if it is, we're just going to have to support whoever it is. I mean, we can bitch and moan, but once the decision is made, there's not much we can do except either commit harikari or just go on with our regular daily lives and hope for the best and hope whoever that is actually a decent coach and knows how to pull this team together, pull down their shorts, spank them in the ass when necessary on a regular basis when necessary, because this team is way too comfortable with itself. And I'm glad they have a great time together. And I'm glad they circle jerk around campfires and eat marshmallows with semen on it. But what we really need is a coach who's willing to hold these players absolutely accountable on a daily basis. Fuck that fucking leadership council. That gets blown up. And we move on to a new era where the players come in, and this is some serious shit they got to get focused on, because we got a World Cup coming up in 2026 that needs to be taken seriously. If we play a 2026 World Cup in our own country and it's a complete disaster, this is going to kill off soccer in this country. It's going to hurt real bad. I don't know if it'll kill it off, but it will hurt real bad. Casual fans, they're going to fuck off all over. They're going to go start watching baseball again. So,
we can't have that.
No, this needs to be a serious venture. It needs to be a serious coach who doesn't suffer fools, and that's what we're hoping for. Right, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay. For the nearly 400 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandmother. And if you've already done what you've done with your stepsister, at least smoke a cigarette with her, maybe lay back, listen to some tunes after the show, and just relax and go to bed together. I think that's probably the right thing to do.
Tony Martinez says World Cup 2026 equals no lube.
I hope
they don't got the sponsors that we got, man.
I hope there's some loop for 2026, because I'd like the U.S. men's national team to get all up into 2026's ass and do something spectacular. But I don't know if that's going to happen. And so I hope my new employers don't see this video.
There's no way that they're going to get 2 hours and 40 minutes into it to hear that little bit there, Derek. Come on.
That's true.
So today, Drew, toxic, I guess. I feel really bad for Drew if he's questioning his level of toxicity. He should just be like, yeah, bro, I'm toxic. But it is what it is. He's posting a clip from Doug McIntyre's article. And in quotes, he says, Pochettino hired former Chelsea women's coach Emma Hayes. Our media remains an absolute joke, and one of the biggest issues that the U.S. faces is in growing this game here. How do you not even have an editor for this stuff? And as a hint here, it's there. It's right there.
Yep.
You can sit here and go like, well, what's this? What's this from? It could be anything. It could be a joke. Somebody could have spoofed this, right? Well, there it is right there. And it's legitimately the same thing, except for he added Crocker in there instead of Pochettino.
Oh, he fixed it.
He fixed it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've all brain farted before, but yeah, that's a pretty bad brain fart. Pretty bad. So, yes, Crocker hired Emma. He's never going to match Emma. And by the way, I do like the fact that Emma said, you know what I want this women's team to do? Suffer. I want them to suffer. They need to learn that this is going to be a battle going forward, that we're not the best in the world anymore. And they need to battle, and they need to fight, and they need to suffer. And then once we get past the suffering, we'll be a better team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I completely understand that, but I do understand the concept.
It's the concept is the harder times make stronger men kind of concept. Like we'll be better after we suffer a bit here.
Or women.
Yes, I mean that's the phrase though. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Tax Brazilian Ghost says AI could write a better article. Hire ChatGPT. The article was nothing more than saying, "Hey, here's a link to Paul's other article breaking this non-breaking news. Here are the people that U.S. Soccer has allowed me to blast out and say who they've talked to, and here's his record at these clubs." That's legitimately all the article was.
So let me tell you how this works. So Paul Tenorio would get the original information from his source. He would write an email to Doug and his buddies and the other his tight group of guys. Usually Carlisle would get an email too and say, I'm about to bust this story. You're welcome to bust it after I bust it. So it's kind of like a gangbang, and you got to let Paul bust it first, and then the rest of them can follow up and bust it after. But Paul's getting the first bust. So
you always want to be the first person in the gangbang, right?
I don't think if you're in a gangbang, it doesn't matter. You're just like, it's going to be messy. Whatever.
That's why you want to be the first person.
It's like,
all right, tag, you're in. No, peace. That was fun, guys. I enjoyed it.
If you're in a gangbang, you're like, it's going to be messy. I'm just already accepted that from the start. All right. Some other news tucked in here. Even if a hire is made ahead of the September window, U.S. U20 coach Mikey Varas is expected to lead the senior team in those friendlies, according to sources. Yep. Okay. That's good to at least let everybody know that the massive games versus New Zealand and whatever other.
Canada.
Okay, Canada. Probably won't have the new coach amongst them during that. Yeah. So,
question though, do you want Varas or do you want Mitrovic? If you had to pick between,
I'll take Varas, I guess. Based on Mitrovic's last game, I'm just done with that guy. Varas isn't great either. But
what about Varas' last game?
I know. Listen, it's like you're giving me two piles of shit, and you're like, "This is your last meal."
But I think that's kind of tainted by the last performances, because we're perfectly fine talking about how they're performing up to that point. I don't think either of them are great options by any means as far as running the team, but as far as a one-off window, whatever, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter for the most part.
I kind of hope that they don't call in the big boys and they try some new faces.
Just saying this to Pete and Attack. Listen, it's not really the end of the world if we don't have the manager hired yet, the guy we really want hired yet by the New Zealand game, etc. It's more important that we just get it right, because I don't think those games are that important. Would I like to have a manager by that time? Absolutely would. So I agree with you there. I think that would be really great. But I think it's more important we get it right. I would really hate for U.S. Soccer to just sign some motherfucker as like the fourth, fifth option, just because we're desperate now. We got to hire somebody before September. I don't want us to get that desperate and just hire some motherfucker that's like our fifth, sixth, seventh option even. I'd rather just stay in it until we find the right guy. If we fucking miss the September window, then just get ready for the next one and have the guy ready for that.
Yeah, 100% agree there.
All right. So we don't need to cover all that because that's the same shit. Oh, go ahead.
What's the sense you're getting at how big this pool is realistically from what you're hearing versus actually what that is on the ground?
I mean, there's two ways to look at it, right? There's only, U.S. is a top, what do we think, top 15 national team in the world. So anytime a top 15 job opens, there's going to be interest. There's only so many coaching jobs to go around at the club level also. But the reality that I think U.S. soccer is running into here is that the club game is still where most coaches want to be. And,
why do most coaches want to be at the club level?
I don't know, because they want to run their system and the money.
I think the money's better there.
But you're still going to get paid millions of dollars to be a international coach, and you have like half the job, half the work.
Well, that would be the thing, right? You may take a pay cut going to a national team, but you're only really called in for like once a month, and you get to travel and sit and watch a bunch of your players playing games throughout the year, and then you call them in. You say, "Hey, I'm going to put you in this position. You're going to go in that position." You know what to do, right?
Once a month is being nice. It's more like once every 2 months.
It depends on the year, I guess.
Sometimes 3. So you get big ass breaks. You get time to spend with your family. You get to, as you said, to travel all over the world and watch, or Europe in this case, to watch our best players, where you probably live already anyhow. So it's not like a really far gone thing. So
you're like, oh, I get to watch Bayern Munich play. Then I'm going to fly over to Italy and watch some Inter Milan because I got players on both teams. God, my life sucks.
We don't have any players on Bayern.
I'm not talking about us. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
I use two massive teams to make a point here that they get to go watch like massive clubs play because they may have players playing on that team or those teams.
Yeah.
But then you got to go and watch Southampton too. So.
Soccer Satan says Crocker lowballed Matarazzo, didn't he? I don't know. We'll never know. No one will ever know. We don't know.
The world will never know.
Yep. We won't know. And by the way, I don't think that's over. I don't think Matarazzo said anything that shut the door. So the thing is that obviously U.S. Soccer's directed somebody in the media, Paul Tenorio, to start talking about Pochettino, to redirect. So this is all games at this point. Like, I don't know what to believe. This seems like games to me. Like they're just gaming us. They're narrativing us. I don't know if that's even a word, but
you're getting called out for it. I know.
Yep. All right.
At this screen cap right here, just this right here. Doug looks high as shit, and Stu looks like he's about to yell at some kids about getting off his grass.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, no, Doug does look either stoned or he was just shot recently in the chest, and this is 6 hours afterwards, and he's dead. All right. That's about it. I think we're done for the night, guys. And it was a great 3 hours, or almost 3 hours.
DMR, I tried, man. I tried to make it 3 hours.
Listen, I got to get up tomorrow morning at 6:45 in the morning. Brett's got to get up at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
because he's got kids.
You got kids too, but not grade school kids.
No, they're 22 and 26. So yeah, they're well out of this household. Thank God. I loved them while they were here, but time flew while they were here. Like, I don't even remember 15, 18 years of my life. They just
Derek, you would need to get a second job if you still had your kids living with you right now for just food alone.
I know. They're not coming back. I just need to feed myself. It's great. I love it.
Like, hey, Dad, can we come over and get some dinner, watch a game? Yeah, we're going to have ramen tonight, okay?
Oh, they love the ramen, though. That's the thing about kids. They love ramen.
Dude, Scott, speaking of ramen. So Jackson's like, hey, Dad, what's for dinner? I'm like, well, Charlie's already eaten. I'm pulling my food out of the microwave going, and I'm heating up, some leftover Chinese. What are you going to eat? And he goes, can I have ramen? And I go, I don't care. Have you ever made it before? Because I always make it for them.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I kind of have an idea. So we went through the process of making it. I'm like, hey, grab the pop, fill it up with water. You want like an inch and a half of water. So yeah, okay, that's good. Put it on there. We're gonna heat it to a boil. What's boil? I'm like, well, when the bubbles start coming up to the top.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, it's bubbling. And I'm like, all right, go ahead and put the ramen in. And all of a sudden I get a call from me. And she's like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay. So I go up and talk to her. I'm talking to her. And all of a sudden Jackson's like, Dad, I need you. And I look at the TV, and the TV has the time on it. And it was 10 minutes after I told him that we were going to have to drain.
Oh, geez.
And I come back down, all the water had evaporated.
Oh my God.
I'm like up, and I grab another new pot, put some water. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm making you a new batch because if you eat this is all going to be gross and gummy. Ugh.
Dude, it's going to be soggy as shit. Yeah.
Oh
my God. Well, at least you're teaching him how to cook ramen. That's a start of something.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one of those things like he gets home if he's hungry, whatever. You just get yourself some ramen, man. Although that kid eats so much, man. He's a growing kid and all, but he's draining my bank account.
Oh, I bet.
God,
I mean, groceries are. I'm just buying for me.
I go and I spend $70 and I have to sit there and I go, all right, I need to rationalize this. Let's see, the pizza's good. Those 4 pizzas I got are good for both kids' meals. That's 8 meals. That already takes it down under $10 a meal. Okay, I can live with this now. And then there's other stuff, of course, but rationalizing it, I'm just like, oh, this is painful.
So now that I've already started this new job. Here's my new list of things I'm buying on Friday before. I am going to the fancy, what's it called? Total Wine. And I'm going to get a nice beer for my dad and I because they have company coming over and I'm going to be cooking dinner for all of them. And so I'm going to get that.
But the Total Wine has it. You can get it cheaper there. It's nice.
No,
you got to make a special trip for it, though, man.
I mean, I am because, by the way, the Allisonville exit is fucked off of 365, so you got to drive down.
Wait, off of what?
365.
465?
465. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's totally fucked. So that whole side it splits into 2, so it's better for me just go to the Keystone exit, which is near Total Wine. So I'm just gonna go there. I'm going to buy a fancy Belgian beer, probably like Pirate or something like that. And I'm going to get myself some smoked trout. And
add some Dick's Mayo.
And I'm going to get some Dick's Mayo at the whole market. Yes.
Where to go? There it is. Sweet dinner at Derek's.
Now this will be at my parents'.
Nathan wants to know what the address is. Can you tell him?
My address? No, I'm not telling you that. Just let me put it this way. If you were near 96 in Allisonville and you saw the absolute traffic terror going on right now with construction, you'd be close to where I lived. It's absolutely a fucking disaster. It's a complete, utter fucking disaster to the bone. It's the worst. And the problem is I've got this going every direction I'm going at this point. They're constructing or reconstructing or whatever you want to call it, fucking shit up on the regular here. So, all right.
Are you going to be making some super moist cakes?
I'm not. No, I'm going to be making, actually, we're going to be doing steaks with a mushroom and onion sauce that I'll be making. And a baked potato and salad. It's pretty simple with the parents.
Doesn't matter how simple it is. It's a goddamn good meal.
Yeah, I'll be going north. I won't be cooking the steaks. Actually, my dad does that on the grill, which he's great at. But I do season them because they don't know how to season steaks. Really, I'm just telling you, they don't, and I do.
SPG, baby.
Yep, actually, indeed. Can Dick's Mayo be used in the place of KY jelly? No, it can't.
I feel like there's some kind of an infection should get.
You should put
Dick's
Mayo on a sandwich and KY on your penis. All right, we're done for tonight. We love you guys. Thank you for showing up. It's been a great 3 hours. It's been a crazy night. Crazy. and we're all exhausted. Brett and I are, because we've been up since 6 a.m, somewhere around that point. And we'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. And until then, mwah, kiss your...
That hurt.
And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.